Circle of his own end. Near point Seaman into the slot for Dahl. Dahl having a hard time getting that puck to move. The penalty is over. The Wolves shovel one behind Besker. Slammed up the near side by Dameworth, and out to center ice is Beaufait center circle. Up the line right side. It dropped into the slot and a dangerous pass. The Wolves poke it to the near point. Panalev right circle. Panalev with room into the slot. Tied up. Kicked by Beauregard into the near corner. Well, the Wolves certainly cannot give that man some room, and Richardson's drive loved by Beauregard. So we have a stop and play. Stefan Beauregard has not been tested much. That's only the fourth shot he's faced. During our first intermission, Jim will be talking with Alexander Godiniuk, the Wolves defenseman. Plus, we'll have highlights from recent Wolves action in our rewind segment, and of course, first period highlights and stats. So stay with us.
I think that's why Stefan Beauregard hung on to the puck so long when he made that save. He just wanted to make sure he knew what it still looked like.
Drawn the right circle by Beauregard. UB McDonough leans in against Breslin. Breslin wins it. Back of the net now, Martin. Stripped, Panalev, wrap around. Never got there. Where's the puck? And I believe Ernst lost sight. We have a stop. Grigory Panalev, one of 3 Orlando All-Stars this season.
A second ago, we saw Stefan Beauregard stay up when Panalev came in to make a move. That time, we saw Stefan Beauregard go down to make the stop. Why? Because Panalev was on his backhand, and it's hard with the curved sticks to get a backhander in the air, especially when you're cutting in a wraparound. So Beauregard made the wise move, took away the bottom half of the net. Panalev is going to go behind the net and come up with the puck. Watch Beauregard. He'll go down, put the stick on the ice, because Panalev is trying to turn the puck and curl in toward the net, and it's awfully hard to get the puck airborne when you're doing that.
The Wolves rolling over to the near side. A huge hit by Richardson. Got Berglund down. The Wolves retaliated. And now we're going to have a penalty as soon as the Wolves touch, and it's going to be Potvin and Richardson near side at center ice. Potvin pulls him against the penalty box. Tries to get his hand free. A quick short left. Now another left to the ear. Richardson just has him in a bear hug. He's a big man, but he doesn't fight. Potvin trying to get some space between he and Richardson. Potvin a left to the ear. Potvin another left to the ear. Potvin a left. They tie up. Richardson not throwing a punch. He has a bad hand as well, which caused him to miss their last game. Now Potvin trying to get a right hand free. The linesman will finally separate the two. And Richardson grasping at his right hand.
All starts along the boards with that cross check right there that Mark Potvin took exception to. Richardson is going to turn and go away, and Potvin is going to be fortunate that the referee didn't see this right there. Well, maybe he did.
Well, Potsy will head off, second on the team in penalty minutes with 1:16 coming in. He had a brief bout with Barry Drager in the first. So he should be approaching 130 penalty minutes right now.
Well, there's a couple of theories on about such as that, Judd. Number one is obviously the players know that Richardson, has a bad hand. But if you have a bad hand, and you really shouldn't be in altercations, you shouldn't be going around cross-checking people either. Now, it really wasn't a fair fight from the standpoint. Richardson was turned to his right hand, where Potvin had his left hand free. Richardson couldn't punch with his right, but he shouldn't have been involved in the mess in the first place.
Well, I would think this should even itself out. Richardson should get the cross-check, and Potvin will probably get a double minor. I would imagine Richardson has to get a minor for being involved with the skirmish along with Potvin.
He may get 5 for receiving, is often the case, because he was unable to throw punches with that right hand.
Mark Beaufait opened the scoring at 10:47, unassisted on the power play, his 15th of the year. Steve Martins tied it up unassisted at 14:42 with his 13th, which establishes for him a new career high. Martins also now has 39 points, which is only 4 away from matching his career high in that category.
Well, Steve Martins a lot of times this year has been the spark plug for the Wolves. Not necessarily the leading scorer, as Judd has just talked about, but how many times this year have we seen Steve Martins goad somebody into a bad penalty that turns around a game? Or how many times have we seen him dig a puck off the wall and make a play that leads to something that gets the momentum turned around?
The Wolves looking for their third straight win here. And walking to the rink with Martins today, he said he has a really good feeling about this team in the final month and a half as Chicago gears up for a playoff run and what looks like a division title.
And can clinch a playoff spot with a win tonight. And as I said, it gets a little bit different from this point of the year on, is because the goals become a little bit harder to come by. The tight gets a little tighter.
Wow, Potvin gets 2 for instigating, 5 for fighting, and a 10-minute misconduct. Richardson, just 5 minutes for fighting, and John Anderson is just blowing his top along the far side, and rightly so.
Well, remember, it was a cross check that started the whole thing.
And I think we're going to have a bench minor on the Wolves. In addition to that,
well, the door is open, and Radul Guzmanov is now skating over to the box.
so Guzmanov will sit down, and the Wolves go short. The Wolves, their third time short-handed. Far circle now, Hollis. He leads the team with 28 goals. Far point, Richards. Centers. Berglund couldn't trap it in the slot. That puck bouncing. Near point, Panalev holds it in. Berglund checked him. High slot, Richard drives it in the right corner. Centered into the slot. And Berglund dove down to swat it back to the Orlando end. If the Wolves can get that puck short-handed and generate a rush with Panalev back in the blue line, it could be very dangerous for the Solarbears. Right circle, Chili rolls it around to the far corner. Stopped by Mackey, but his backhand not accepted at the far point by Richards. He has to retrieve it at center ice. Panalev, a lead over the line, far side. Mackey will get beaten there by Tilly, his ex-Milwaukee teammate.
1 minute.
1 minute to play here in the first period. We are tied up at 1. The Wolves short. And we have a stop in play. Who's the penalty going to be on?
I believe is going to be on Dave Mackey.
Let him fucking play.
Joe Ernst, he raised the whistle to his mouth once just before the penalty was called, and he was all loaded for bear, pardon the expression, to send somebody to the box. He didn't do it the first time, and then when Dave Mackey dumped his man, it was time to call a penalty. Unfortunately, we can't see Ernst in the picture because he had double clutched a couple of times, raising the whistle to his mouth, and then when Dave Mackey dumps down one of the top goal scorers in the IHL, so there it was right there. That was when initially he was going to call the penalty on Hollis, decided not to, and then a fistful of glove to the face of Steve Malte results in 2 minutes.
So we'll end this period 4 aside, apparently. McCann saucers one out to center ice, near side McDonough over the line right side. Watched by Nardella, banged against the wall. Right corner Armstrong. Armstrong turns away from the Wolves defense, comes to the near point, McCann shoots. Beauregard to stop, rebound, Beauregard stopped. Armstrong at the near post, now centered. Here comes Marinucci. Marinucci had his centering pass blocked, got it back. Far point Tilly with 15 seconds remaining here in the first. Tilly chips it up left wing, Seamak, I don't think he touched it. Coming back to grab it is McCann. No whistle here for icing. Fired up the near side and out to center ice. 3 seconds remain in the first period. Tilly over to the far circle for Godiniuk, and that will wrap things up. And Hubie McDonough right now having a word with one of the linesmen. I think the Solarbears, along with myself, felt that icing should have been called with some time remaining to generate a faceoff on the Wolves' end, but it will not happen, and the officiating has certainly played a big factor here in the opening 20 minutes of play for John Anderson and Kurt Fraser's club. Our scoring summary sponsored by Craftsman from the opening 20 minutes of play. Mark Beaufait opened the scoring. An unassisted power play goal, his 15th of the season at 10:47, but Steve Martins also unassisted, an even strength goal, or pardon me, it's listed as a power play goal, his 13th of the season at 14:42 to tie things up. Shots on goal after 20 minutes in favor of the Wolves, 14-6. Stay with us between periods. My partner Jim Blaney will have Wolves defenseman Alexander Godiniuk as his guest when we return. This is Chicago Wolves Hockey.
Generations have relied on us for their gas and energy needs. Given a choice, seems everyone would. Energy from Nicor. Make yourself comfortable.
Jiffy Lube knows there are a lot of places that try to get your oil change business with coupons, but they don't do everything we do, like windows, vacuuming, free refills, as well as professional oil changes. At Jiffy Lube, we want your business, so we'll honor those coupons up to $5 off, just to show you how great Jiffy Lube service can be. So bring your competitive coupons to Jiffy Lube. Now there's no reason to go anywhere else. Jiffy Lube, Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana's favorite oil change. Now in most Sears Auto Centers.
When you see the name Jewel, or Osco, or President's Choice on the label, you know that inside you'll find the best, backed by the best guarantee. We'll give you double your money back if you're not completely satisfied. Exclusive brands, only from Jewel Osco.
Everywhere. Packages to every address in America. P.O. boxes too. We deliver packages to more places than FedEx or UPS. The U.S. Postal Service can take your business around the world. We deliver packages to everyone, everywhere, every day.
Welcome back to the Orlando Arena here in the first intermission. The Wolves and the Solar Bears are all knotted up at one. Our first intermission guest, defenseman Alexander Godiniuk, is joining my partner Jim Blaney downstairs live right now. Jim?
All right, Judd, thank you very much. Alex, the first question has to be about the way the penalties were called in that first period. I would have to imagine it's very difficult for the players when the calls get changed midway through the season on how obstruction is going to be called.
Well, it's tough for us because we don't really know what they're gonna call, and we have to play by what they call. And I'm telling you, it's hard because you got to used to play one rules and then they change it, and it's a very hard transition for us.
Does it really make any difference how it's called as long as it's called consistently?
I think so. I think consistency is the great thing, and we can get used to everything. It just has to be game after game.
You and your teammates are coming off 5 days without a game. I won't say 5 days off because you did practice, but how much of a help was it for you and for your teammates who have been a little banged up to get 5 days without a game before the stretch drive?
I think it's a great thing for us because finally we got to practice a little more. We didn't have that chance during the season because the game's pretty tight, but at that stretch we got some practices, we played some key situations, and I think it's good for us.
At this point of the season, I would imagine that nobody's really healthy, but with the 5 days without a game, it does have to give you a chance to let some of the nagging little injuries heal that just keep getting aggravated as you play games during the course of the year, correct?
Yes, it's correct. We got another 4 or 5 days after that this weekend, and then we just play, and everybody will be really tired. So that stretch should help us a lot.
You've also had a stretch here where you've gotten everybody back into the lineup. All the people who are here during the great run in October, November, not only are here again, but are healthy. Can this team get back to the quality of hockey that you were playing the first 2 months of the season?
Absolutely. We got some slump, and every team would get something like that in the course of the year. I think we're over that slump. We played two pretty solid games before that one, and we played a great first period. So I think we're over that.
In the aftermath of the Olympics, how much pride do all the European players take in the fact that all the medals at the Olympics were won by European teams?
Well, I heard so many things that Europeans won't win them silver or gold, but Russia and the Czech Republic and Russia won first and second place. I think it's pretty good. Maybe it's not great for fans here, but it's pretty amazing thing.
You can tell by the smile on your face that the Europeans like it quite a bit. Alex, thanks for your time. Good luck the rest of the game. We are tied 1-1 between the Solar Bears and the Wolves at the end of one period of play. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
It's been a tradition since 18 1876. Think about that. That's more than 120 years ago that this company started making Budweiser under Adolphus Busch. The family has always put in the forefront, protect the excellence of the product Budweiser. And I think he would be very happy that the generations of his family have practiced what he taught us.
The whole pack to Hang Time Sports Bar and Grill at 48 Route Boulevard in Buffalo Grove.
You depress the accelerator and it opens up on an endless straightaway. Chevy Malibu, so smooth and comfortable to drive that if your fingers weren't on the wheel, they'd be interlocked behind your head. You reflexively squeeze your companion's hand in the spacious passenger seat as if to say, what a great day to be alive. To which the perplexed Chevy salesman to your right responds, I take it you're enjoying your test drive.
Stop by your local Chevy dealer today for low financing on the Chevy Malibu.
I know what I want. I want a digital phone I can use anywhere, like in New York or LA. I want cool features, like a pager, so my messages reach me, and caller ID. And I want my calls to sound great. I just don't know which company to choose. Who's the best? Somebody, give me a name.
With Digital Edge service, a Digital Edge phone for $49 and 2 months free local airtime, no wonder more people in Chicago choose Cellular One than any other wireless phone company.
Welcome back to the first intermission at the Orlando Arena in the contest between the Chicago Wolves and the Orlando Solar Bears. The Wolves with 2 games since our last telecast, so let's catch up here in our Wolves Rewind segment. On Wednesday at the Horizon, Randy Carlisle's team came to Chicago for the final time, and the Wolves in the power play get a bank shot early in the game. Jamie Baker able to tap one in off Freddie Brathwaite to make it 1-0. Later that period, Malte kicks it to his stick and drills one by Freddie Brathwaite to make it 3-1. But the Wolves would squander that big lead. It was 4-1 heading into the second, but 3 unanswered goals by Manitoba. Here was Greg Pankowitz taking advantage of Godiniuk losing his skate, blowing one by Wendell Young. Young did get a piece of that, but it tied the game at 4 heading into the third period. Paul Cook then fed it up the middle in the third. Scott Pearson tied up his man. Seamack swept in and poked one by Brian Elder, who came on in relief. And the Wolves came up with a 5-4 victory over the Manitoba Moose. Baker with a pair of power play goals in the first period. Seamack the game winner. And the Wolves closed out the season series, winning 7 of 8 against their division rivals, the Manitoba Moose. Last Saturday, John Anderson's team at Kemper Arena to face off for the 11th time against the Kansas City Blades, and a change in the forecheck generating some turnovers from Kansas City. And Seamack here lifts one over Pokey Reddick on the backhand to give Chicago a 1-0 lead. In the second period, on the power play, the puck comes to Jamie Baker in the slot. A blind backhand finds Malte, and he blisters one by Pokey Reddick to make it 2-0. In the game, Stefan Beauregard was marvelous in net for Chicago, stopping several Kansas City offerings. Here he denies Norman Rochefort's centering pass. Moments later, Jason Cerrone with a chance in the left circle, stopped cold over at the far post. Kansas City pulled the goaltender late in the game, but Steve Malte made them pay by drilling in an empty netter, his second of the game and his 35th of the season. And Stefan Beauregard stopped Dean Sylvester late here to preserve the shutout. Beauregard made 28 saves to record a 3-0 victory for the Wolves. For Beauregard, his first blanking this season. Malte, his 34th and 35th of the season. That's tied for the league lead as the Wolves match their franchise record for wins in a season at 40 and road wins at 19. Stay with us when we return. First period highlights and stats. This is Chicago Wolves Hockey.
I'm Wendell Hodge. I'm a people mover. Up the stairs, down the stairs, 10 miles a day. I'm running all over the place. I'm a mover, but not a shaker. Let's go, mommy. Yeah. Nurses just move right out of the way. They know it's Wendell coming down the hall. Don't worry about it. You're gonna be fine.
Every day, over 100,000 people depend on PACE, along with millions of people who depend on them. PACE, a fresh approach to public transportation.
Chicago Wolves 10 and 20 game ticket plans are still available. Call 1-800-THE-WOLVES.
Minutes have gone by here in Orlando. Wolves and Solar Bears all tied up at 1-1. Time now for a look at our Clark On The Go highlights. The Orlando Solar Bears strike first in the game. The Wolves were shorthanded, might have had a chance at an odd man break. Steve Martin read the play, decided the numbers weren't there, tried to flip it back across the ice. Mark Beaufait knocked it down, made a move, and beat Stefan Beauregard for the opening goal. That was at the 10:47 mark. So Steve Martin's made a mistake. What do you do when you make a mistake? If you're a competitor, you make up for it the first chance you get. Steve Martin's working hard for the puck behind the net, comes around in the wraparound, and slides it beneath Alan Bester to tie the game up at 1-1. This is just an ode to hard work and determination. Steve Martin's wanted to make up for the other play. He did it in a big way, tying the game up at 1-1.
Our Coca-Cola first period stats have the Wolves vastly outshooting the Solar Bears 14-6. A lot of penalties in the opening 20 minutes of play. The Wolves went 0 for 4 on the power play. Orlando 1 for 3. They will actually have a fourth eventually early here in the second period. Remaining on a minor or a double minor assessed to Mark Potvin. Scoring chances in favor of the Wolves 6-3. And the Wolves generating shots on those power plays. Alan Bester played well. Stefan Beauregard, when he was tested, came up with some excellent stuff.
Well, not many people know this, Judd, but at one point during the first period, Stefan Beauregard went to the diner right next to the hotel, got a couple of sandwiches. Nobody missed it because there was no action in the Wolves' end of the ice for most of the period.
Our next televised game is also next Saturday. The Wolves host the Ice Dogs. Tune in at 6:30 for Countdown to Wolves Hockey. Game time again is 7 o'clock. The Wolves are exclusively on cable TV. Check with your local cable company for the channel in your community. By the way, that's also the Wolves' next home game. The first 5,000 fans will receive team photos courtesy of your Chicagoland Chevrolet dealers. So stop by the Horizon box office or call Ticketmaster at 312-559-1212.
Chicago fans may have a chance to see a familiar face in that Ice Dogs game. Jocelyn Lemieux signed this week by the Ice Dogs. He was assigned, I guess is the term to use by the Phoenix Coyotes. And Jocelyn Lemieux, everybody remembers from his days in Chicago, a banger, and also has a pretty good scoring touch too when he gets it going.
And the series between the two has been awesome. In fact, the last weekend matchup between the two teams resembled what many felt was playoff hockey, and I would think that those two are going to meet in the IHL's postseason. Long Beach leading the Western Conference right now with 90 points, but the Wolves have 4 games in hand, and they are 7 points behind.
Well, just what everybody wants to see the Ice Dogs do is improve their team. You get down this part of the season, and that's like, you talk about a guy dropping into your lap.
Fans, Wolves players will be visiting community libraries Monday and Tuesday, March 9th and 10th as part of the Wolves Read to Succeed program. For more information about these and other upcoming Read to Succeed visits, call 1-800-THE-WOLVES.
Well, the ice is in poor shape, and if you're going to try anything fancy, you may want to do it in the early parts of the period. And I thought the Wolves, Judd, did a very good job of adjusting to that as the period wore on. They didn't try feathering passes anywhere. They line and fire it on the net, crash the net, and look for rebounds. In a condition like this, that's one of the things you get fancy with the puck, because it'll just bounce over your stick, and all of a sudden you've got an odd man break going the other way. So when the ice is not in optimum condition, it's very important. Put the puck in deep, and if you shoot it toward the net, make sure you get it on the net.
By the way, my apologies. At the end of the first period, I said the Wolves got a bench minor. That was not the case. They needed a designated sitter to fill in for Mark Potvins minor in that 2-5 and a 10-minute misconduct. And we're underway here in the second period. Near point McDonough. McDonough flipped it down low. Baker steals. High slot Tilly. Left wing feed Malte. Returns up the middle. Got deflected. Baker brings it across offside, and we have a stop. 12 seconds into the middle period. Stefan Beauregard in goal to our left. Alan Bester in goal to our right.
And as I make my journey at the end of every period to do the intermission interview, I came back through the concourse. They have the doors open. And you can just feel the humidity just pouring into the building as you walk by the open door, which is, you're making your air conditioning system work overtime, number one. And humidity, as we mentioned in the first period, is what really kills you.
And it certainly doesn't help your stamina. Near-sided center ice McDonough brings it across. Centers! McKinney scores! Sean McCann has good wheels, collects only his third goal with the Solar Bears, 2-1 Orlando.
You turn the puck over, and many times it ends up in your net. And this is just a great pass. Right down the slot, McCann fires and beats Beauregard. It happens so fast, all because McDonough delivered the puck right on the money. McDonough just right on the tape. McCann harassed a little bit from behind, but not only got the shot off quickly, but got a lot on it as well.
Near point in the Orlando end. Seamack couldn't hold it in. Now he gets it back over the line, left side, into the left circle. Seamack shoots Bester. A glove save on that backhand. Alexander Seamack, one of the best in the eye, if not all of hockey, using the backhand, which is a lost art.
Oh, absolutely. And one of the reasons why it's a lost art, Judd, is because of the curved stick. Many of these forwards now, they'll take their stick and they'll make it like a pitching wedge. And it's almost impossible to backhand it with a stick like that. Seamack, you can just tell from the way he sets up, very comfortable with shoveling on the net. Now, there's a lot of guys who can backhand it on net. And it's amazing. You see Seamack's stick. You see the way he has the toe of the stick turned up. He's going to have to cooperate with us a little bit here for us to get a good look at it. But you see how the toe is turned up? So when Seamack shoots that backhander, he gets it onto the middle of the blade. He doesn't try to shoot it with the toe. You have to know which part of the stick to have the puck in order to get an effective shot. Many players just try to use the end of the stick to take a backhander, the backwards of what they do with a forehand. It just doesn't work that way. You got to get it back more toward the heel.
The Wolves with a brief 4-on-3. Now it'll be 4-on-4 as Mackey comes out of the sin bin. Godinho kicked it ahead and over the line. Left side is Dahl. Dahl left corner. Dahl back of the net. Dahl to the near circle. Dahl right corner. Dahl holds onto it. Dahl out muscles Richards. Back of the net now Dahl. High slot Godinho. Left of the net Dahl. Deflected it in the corner. Now at the far post, Bester will freeze and we have a stop. Kevin Dahl, regarded as one of the best defensive defensemen in the league, but is a threat offensively.
And because he can flat fire it from just inside the blue line. And the thing that's frightening about Alan Bester is now he's been given a lead. And with the way he's been playing, even though there's nearly 2 periods to go, you stake this guy to a lead, and the good goaltenders get tough when they get ahead.
Behind his net, Richards slams it up the near side. Tilly keeps it in. Nope. Works out. Marinacci, right-sided center ice. Rink wide. Breslin. Breslin goes back towards his own line. Far circle Nardella. Rink wide to Tilly. The Wolves will be on the power play in 15 seconds. High slot now Marinacci. Had it kicked away by Nikish. Center circle Tilly. Has to waste some time. Breslin was in very deep. Now Nardella. Over the line, high slot. Oh, and then he got hit by Engelstad after the whistle blew. But nothing is called right there.
And really, Judd, that could have been an obstruction penalty as well because Nardella was hooked over the blue line, fingers offside. And theoretically, under these obstruction rules, you're not supposed to be able to push a player aside or hook him. Now watch Nardella coming up the center of the ice. He just gets hooked up enough from behind. Winger's offside.
Malte grabs it out at center ice. Kuzmanov out of the box, and the Wolves at full strength on the power play. Unofficially, I have this as their 6th. Scoreless thus far with it. The 5th was about 5 seconds.
They're starting to run out of toes.
Out at center ice. Dameworth tried to drive it in. That got blocked. Here's Nardella. Skips over the line right side. Nardella along the near side. Right of the net. Now Kuzmanov walks in. Lost the puck. Far point now Tilly. Tilly for the high slot. Shoots deflected. Buster the save. Rebound Gregory. Devils went up the far side and out.
Right play. Tom Tilly put it on net. That's what you have to do in these conditions.
Tilly, right wing feed Nardella. The Wolves blue line. Center circle now Malte. Over the line left side. Malte left circle. Centers Baker. Couldn't deflect it. Near point Nardella. Solar Bears back at full strength. Kuzmanov. Right of the net now Malte. Centers. Far side Tilly. Keeps it left of the net. Malte. Far circle Kuzmanov. Spinning away from Gregory. Malte shoots. Buster the stop. Malte had it in his skates. Far point now Martin shoots. They score! The Wolves' ability to keep that puck in generates the game-tying goal, 2 apiece.
And specifically Matt Martin's ability to keep the puck in. Seconds before this goal, Steve Malte got the puck in prime scoring position, but just couldn't pull the trigger quickly enough before Bester got into position. I believe Malte tips this one in on the way to that. There it is, Malte. Oh, he had Bester dead to rights, but just couldn't get the puck to lie flat for him. Flip it up over Bester. Now the puck comes back to Martin. Malte gets in position in the slot, and they give the goal to Malte as they should because he deflected it on the way.
He now has points in 13 straight. That's tied for the longest in the league. High slot, now Seamack off the giveaway, shoots just wide. He tried to pull Bester out. Right side. Richard, right line, high slot. Had it stripped from behind. Cook, back side, it wobbles to the far point. Behind his net now, Dameworth. Chips it off the glass near side, out to center ice. Floats to the right of Beauregard. Adds it up. Seamack kicks it to the far point. McCann punches one out. Panalev over the line, high slot. Panalev had it swatted away. Right side at center ice. Pearson delivers it. Brings it across. High slot, he lost his edge. Held in near point by Martins. Backhand near circle. Pearson knocked off his and breaking back his Panalev over the line right side with Beaufait. Into the slot. Knocked off the puck by Godinia. And Beauregard freezes. 15:35 remains in the second. 2 apiece. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
Chicago sports fans are known across the country for their savvy. What's the primary source of that savvy? The savviest sports writing team in Chicago, the staff of the Chicago Sun-Times sports section. It's a team that writes with style and substance. A team that doesn't just cover, but uncovers, too. A team that's concise, precise, and feisty. Come on now, get savvy. Get hold of the Sun-Times today.
When you see the name Jewel, or Osco, or President's Choice on the label, you know that inside you'll find the best, backed by the best guarantee. We'll give you double your money back if you're not completely satisfied. Exclusive brands, only from Jewel Osco.
Judd Surratt and Jim Blaney at the Orlando Arena. 2 apiece. The Wolves trailed 1-0 and 2-1. Much like the first meeting, they won that one in the shootout. Also like that meeting, the Wolves vastly out-shooting the Solar Bears. Right now it's 18-7 in favor of Chicago. In game 1, 51-24. Godinia, right wing feed at the red line, Marinucci, who has 14 points in his last 14 games. Got it behind the net, Bester advanced it over the far corner. McCann had it stripped behind the net. The Wolves forcing turnovers. Marinucci had it tapped away by Hankinson, and now it's chipped off the glass and down the length of the ice. Coming back to grab it is Godinia, and he gets there. We have a stop. Kevin Dahl got in front of Dave Mackey, but not to the point where it's interference, which is something that they're looking for. Hey kids, join the Skates Mates Kids Club. For only $19.95, you'll receive a great Skates Mates t-shirt, 2 tickets to a Wolves game, a subscription to Howlings, an autographed picture of skates, and much more. To join, call 1-800-THE-WOLVES.
I just want to go back to the goal by Steve Malte. What a great tip-in that was. Tipped it just enough to deflect it and send it underneath Bester.
Oh, Guzmanov just missed the far post on a feed by Baker. Right circle now, Baker lost it, and it skips by Tilly and out. Steve Malte now only 14 away from the 50 mark. Came in tied for the league lead in goals. We have a penalty upcoming, and it's going to be on Orlando, I believe. Engelstad knocked down Jamie Baker. Joe Ernst will make the call. It's going to be a cross check. Who's going to head off?
Well, Big Mel got Baker twice, so based on the preponderance of the evidence, I would have to say it's going to be Mel, and it is.
So the Wolves right back to the power play. I count this as their 7th, scoreless thus far with it. Engelstad, the United Hockey League's all-time leader in penalty minutes.
And that's saying something.
With 1,704 in 266 games.
My kind of guy.
So the Wolves will head to the man advantage with 15:35 remaining here in the second.
Mel Engelstad was absolutely jacked when he found out he made the Orlando Solar Bears. Called home and was telling mom and dad about all the great hotels he's going to get to stay in, and he was
not with this team.
Absolutely thrilled to be in the eye.
Left circle Malte, fanned on a one-timer. Far point now Tilly. Rink wide Nardella, deflects it over to the near side. Right circle Guzmanov. High slot Nardella. Shoots, blocked, rebound to Richards. Oh, he almost had it stolen at the blue line by Nardella, and the Wolves couldn't keep it in. Right wing over the line now, Guzmanov. Up a great feed by Tilly. Malte lost it at the near point, and it pops out. Out at center ice, Tilly. Check Mickish, and Steve Malte comes back to snag it. Malte now with 36 goals and 75 points. He did not have a shot on goal in the Wolves' first meeting between these two teams. Tilly lost the puck at center ice. Beaufait, who has great wheels. Twisting, slaps it in the far corner to take some time off the clock. 55 seconds remaining in this Wolves man advantage. Beaufait nearly stole it from Nardella. Now the Wolves get it ahead. Tilly, left wing at the red line. Seaman wraps it around. Over at the near side, Martins in the right corner grabs it. Martins being bothered by Hankinson to the high slot, deflected by Beaufait, and back into the Wolves zone. Dahl looks around, scoops up the puck in the near corner. Wheels ahead. Dahl center circle on the right wing. Feeds it off Hollis' stick into the far corner. Seaman spun around, slaps it up the far side. Martins with it. Martins in the far corner. Martins back of it up to Seaman. Far corner now, Martins. Far point, Godinez. Shoots, deflected over the crossbar. Near corner, Dahl pinches. Back of the net, Seaman. Out in front, Pearson shoots, deflected. Backhand, Dahl. He scores! Kevin Dahl took his time and floats a backhander by Bester, and the Wolves lead for the first time 3-2.
You know, in baseball, Judd, when you get a case of two outfielders coming together, and it's I've got it, you take it. Right before the goal was scored, we had a similar circumstance where I believe it was Pearson and Dahl came together. The puck was bouncing free, and neither one exactly knew which one was going to take the puck. Puck comes out, actually, it's Martins and Pearson. But they do the smart thing. One of them advances the puck toward the net, and Kevin Dahl shovels it home.
For Dollar, his 8th of the year. Over the line left side now, it's Berglund, left corner. He and Richardson go banging. Berglund stays with it, strips the puck into the far circle, couldn't center cleanly. Berglund gets back to it, had his stick held up. Now it's fed behind the net and over to the near side by Nicholas. And finally, Orlando's Miners come back to haunt them. Nicholas' drive is blocked, comes in the near corner. Keeping it in is Armstrong. Breslin got it ahead to Marinucci. Here comes Berglund. Center circle, Berglund over the red line. Chips one into the right corner, he'll head off. Bester plays it up the near side. Breslin kicks it in the right corner. Took a hit from Nicholas. Back of the net now, Damewood. Feeds up the far side of Nicholas. Center circle to Armstrong. Bill Armstrong, a 5-time 30-goal scorer. fired it behind the net. Nicholas tried to center, kicked free by Tilly. Got away from Armstrong's check. That easily could have been obstruction as well. Center circle, Baker. Baker, far side at center ice. Oh, Malte took a swat right in the midsection from Engelstad. The Wolves trying to get their top line on the ice with a couple of pylons back in the blue line. Or actually one, Engelstad. He's playing with Richards. Near side at center ice, Tilly grabs it. Has to wait. Kicked it over the line. Controlled by Engelstad. Left wing feed at the red line. Pumped in by Hollis. Swings around to the far side, McDonough. Kicked it behind the net. Panalev had it stripped. Far point. Richards couldn't keep it in. Drager comes back for it. Drager in the far circle. Drills it up the near side, and it's deflected back into the Wolves zone. Beauregard taps the puck in the far corner. Out in front, it popped, and Beauregard loves that one. 10:40 remains in the second. The Wolves 3, the Solar Bears 2. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
And Jiffy Lube, Chicagoland's favorite oil change, have teamed up for value and fun. Stop in for a full-service oil change and qualify for a Chicago Wolves 2-for-2 ticket package. Enter to win the Jiffy Lube Change on the Fly sweepstakes, and you could be off to Point Sienna Beach Resort in sunny Jamaica, courtesy of Apple Vacations, America's favorite vacation company, and Sandals Resorts. Visit a Chicagoland or Northwest Indiana Jiffy Lube for details. Jiffy Lube. Drive in, drive out, drive on.
Swings to the near point, Tilly. Shoots deflected, they score! A power play goal, we're tied at 1.
Fans, everyone who attends a Wolves home game can score a 7-11 power play. When the Wolves score a power play goal, you simply take your ticket stub from the game to a participating 7-Eleven within 48 hours and receive a free 7-Eleven deli sandwich.
Wolves leading Orlando 3-2. Bob Nardell has done a good job in this game of just getting the puck in the net. Now, I had heard, Judd, I don't know if it's true or not, he was telling me that you owe him some money from Ferris State's victory over Michigan last night. I'm just relaying the message.
That is untrue. There was no wager made.
Well, he has to be very proud that his team won because it's a tough place to play and win in Yost Arena.
Anybody can win the lottery. 2-on-1. Over the line right side is Seamak. Seamak centers just out of the reach of Godinho. Back of the net, Seamak couldn't play it. Comes over to the near side. Drager got some help as McDonough knocked away Martins. Martins looked at Jones but didn't say anything. Godinho paddles it up the far side. Drager in deep. Drager had it slapped off his stick. Back of the net now Hollis. Centers through the goal line. Far point McCann. Hustles to keep it in. Back of the net Hollis. Took a check from Godinho. Far side McDonough. This is really the only time tonight that Orlando has had the puck in for any length of time in the Wolves zone. Left side of the line is Pearson. Far point, Seamak. Seamak far circle. Right circle, Pearson shoots wide on a one-timer. His momentum was carrying the other way. Nonetheless, it allows the Wolves to complete a change. Hankinson, the ex-Devil and Lightning player, swats one over the line. And we have a stop and play apparently for an offside. The Wolves still dominating. They have only allowed 7 shots on goal.
And back in December when the Wolves pumped so many shots on goal in the Orlando Solar Bears, that was during that stretch right before Christmas where it seemed like the Wolves were setting a new franchise record for shots on goal every game out because they had that game in Winnipeg where they just absolutely peppered Fred Brathwaite.
Near side in the Wolves zone, Mackey kept it in. The Wolves drive it out. Chad Daimler had it stripped by Breslin. The Wolves anticipating pass as well. Center circle, Mackey. Mackey over the line left side. Mackey chips one behind Beauregard. Beauregard leaves it in the near corner, gets back in position. Beaufait in the near circle. Beaufait had it stripped cleanly by Marinucci. Those two played some college hockey together, or against one another. Beaufait at Northern Michigan. Marinucci at the University of Minnesota Duluth. Behind his net now, Richardson. Up the near side, a feed. Beaufait right to the line. Hankinson reaps one wide. Comes out to center ice and the line right side. A drop to Marinucci into the right circle. Returns Berglund. Backhand. First to the stop. Near corner Marinucci. Bounced it up high. Didn't get what he wanted on that pass up high. He saw Nardella calling for the puck. The Solar Bears drive it in. Front of his net, Bobby Nardella. Banged it up the near side out to center ice. Breslin. Nardella throws it along the near side, but gets it out to center ice. Marinucci swats one in. 8:20 remains in the second. The Wolves with 2 unanswered. They're taking a 3-2 lead. High slot Sim. Right circle, Panalev in the slot on it. Poked away by Tilly, who dove down. Near point, Engelstad. Engelstad down low. Centers. We have a penalty upcoming. Right now, Richards. Far point, Sim. Bestra for the extra guy. Rolled behind the nets. Near side, Richards. Lost it to Guzmanov. We get the call. 7:50 remaining in the second. The Solar Bears to the power play when we return, trailing 3-2. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
There's only one true craftsman. Craftsman makes anything possible.
Yeah.
Jamie Baker in the box for a trip. Wolves leading 3-2. And what the Wolves at least off very effective. Orlando hasn't figured that out yet.
Orlando to the power play for the 5th time. 1 for their previous 4, and we have a stop for an offside. Mark Beaufait has that power play goal unassisted to open the scoring.
It's just getting very, very difficult when you get into the latter stages of the period. But we are in the latter stage of the period that it's just very difficult to pass the puck. And we saw Chris Marinucci and Tim Berglund unite on a good chance for the Wolves because they left 2 drop passes where the puck didn't start bouncing.
The Wolves 8th in the league in the penalty kill at 83%. On the 88%, 2nd in the league. Center circle, Panalev, left wing feed over the line. McCann fires it in and around. McCann and Beaufait, the goal scorers for Orlando. Far point out, Panalev. Took a swat, lost it at the high slot. Here's Pearson against Panalev, a forward. Over the line right side, Pearson bumped by Panalev and off the puck. On the near corner, Pearson chugs forward against McCann. Forced him to give it away. That'll waste some time. And 20 remains in the power play for Orlando. Here's McCann. Cuts right at the center circle. Feeds ahead. Mackey had it in the skates. The Wolves grab it near side in the neutral zone. The man who leads them in shorties, Marinucci, over the line right side. Being tugged at by Beaufait. He kicks it out in front. The Wolves thus far have not allowed a shot on this power play. In fact, they have only allowed 1 shot this period. Near circle of his own end, Todd Richards. The defenseman of the year in the IHL back in '95 with Vegas. And the fans here booing. Near side of his own line, McCann. Right wing feed, Mickish over the line right side with some speed into the right circle. Now behind the net. Hammered to the end boards by Martin. Back of the net now, Armstrong. Centers near circle, Mickish. Near point, now McCann. High slot, Richards. Shoots deflected as Breslin dove out and got that one with his skates. Far circle now, Armstrong. Centers. Marinucci got a glove on it. Left of it now, Armstrong. Walks in, centers. Wide. Right corner now, Armstrong. Had it swatted away. We have a penalty upcoming apparently on the Wolves. It'll be for interference. As a word for Joe Ernst and the Wolves. 2 men here for 15.
Just got run down just a little bit on their penalty kill. We saw the block by Tim Breslin, and it was a result of the fact that the puck came all the way back out to the point. Breslin was hustling to cover his man and just had to try any way he could to keep the shot through. But that set off a chain of events where it seemed like the Wolves were 1 pass behind in covering the penalty kill.
Matt Martin will head in the box. Turns shortly. Wolves win the draw, blasted down the length of the ice by Tilly. That'll take a significant amount of time off that 2-man.
How big of a face-off win was that by Steve Martin? And he won it clean.
Right side at center ice, blasted in by Mikic. Near circle, Chili bangs it ahead and out to center ice. Baker, a liberated man. And he's out of the box. Near circle, Armstrong.
Everybody stumbles onto one sometimes, don't they?
Armstrong being bothered by Baker. One of the NHL's best penalty killers.
If I'd been thinking, I would have stolen your lottery comment.
Right side at center ice, Richards over the checkered line. Wobbles one left of the net. Beauregard stops it, plays it ahead. Got it to the near wall where it's trapped by Armstrong. Somebody's lost a stick. Near point. Who lost it? Near side, Mitchell. Centering pass denied. Chili back of the net. Punched it over to the left corner. Martins fanned once. Got it ahead second time, and Bobignac dribbles it down the length of the ice. The Wolves short only for another 55 seconds. They still have not allowed a shot on goal while they've been shorthanded during this sequence. It was briefly a 15-second two-man. Coming ahead now is McDonough into the center circle. Left side over the line. They would have been offside. The Wolves free it. Here's Bergman chugging ahead over the line, right side into the right circle. Walks in, shoots, left to the save, rebound. Seamac fired it wide. He only got a piece of that with his blade. The butter knife fish hook. Here comes McDonough. Left wing at center ice. McCann fires it off the glass and behind. Beauregard stops it. Back of the net, Hankinson rolls it out in front. Free to Seamac. Right side, center ice, Malte. Over short-handed. Kicks it in the right corner. And the Wolves short for only another 8 seconds. 4:10 remains here in the second. The Wolves up 3-2. Here's Mackey. Near side at center ice, McCann. Over the red line, fires it around, and Martin is out of the box. The Wolves did not allow a shot on goal after taking 2 consecutive minors. Back of the net now, Dahl. Hammers it up the near side. Gameworth kept it in for a moment. Here come the Wolves. Center circle, Guzmanov. Over the line right side. Guzmanov stops, starts, drop pass. Malte not looking for it. Look out. Hollis's attempt to bring it across hit him in the skate. Hollis near circle. Hollis near corner. Hollis had it chopped away. And now here comes Baker, 3-on-2. Baker over the line right side. High slot, Nardella. Left circle, Malte centers, blocked. Oh, if he got it through, Nardella had his easiest goal of the year. High slot, Nardella kept it in. Took a chop from behind. Guzmanov took a check from behind, trying to fish that puck out of his skates. Center circle, Bolfing swats it into the far corner. Hollis ridden off the puck by Nardella. Coming in to grab it now behind the net is Armstrong, cradles it, shoots, he scores!
He did it again. Remember Mike Legg in the NCAA tournament a couple of years ago for the University of Michigan, scoring the goal that got all the press? This is the guy that invented that move. He taught it to Mike Legg. Armstrong scored a goal like this earlier this week. He does it again. The lacrosse move. There's no way for a goaltender to defend that. Absolutely no way. Mike Legg gets the credit in the pub for it, but Bill Armstrong is the man who perfected it first.
That's only their second shot on goal this period, but it ties the game at 3. In fact, both of their shots this period have gone in.
Stefan Beauregard has his helmet up on his head. He doesn't believe that should be a goal.
Time of the goal is 17:01.
Play is going on while you're looking at Beauregard.
And now Engelstad goes after Breslin. I wonder if Orlando is going to go in again. Now everybody in a rugby scrum in front of Alan Bester. .247 remains in the middle period. The Solar Bears have tied it up at 3. Back in a moment. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. But if you listen to the Chicago Wolves on WCBR 92.7 FM, 1,000 words can paint quite a picture.
Pozo behind his own net, 49 seconds left. Pozo left side center ice. Young to the bench. Pozo over the line, high slot. Back pass, Malte shoots, he scores!
WCBR 92.7 FM, radio home of Chicago Wolves hockey.
They ask in this voice, they ask in that voice. They whisper in your ear. Try as they might, no one's getting in your bed. No couches, no coffee tables, no sharp-edged bookcases. On moving day, you'll do the lifting, not the hauling. So you park it around the corner, concealing more payload capacity than a Ford Ranger. And then you tell your friends you took a cab, Chevy S10 pickup. Look, but please don't touch.
See your local Chevy dealers and test drive an S10 pickup today.
Tied at 3-3 in the aftermath of a goal by Bill Armstrong, and I have a feeling this whole scrum got started because of the way that Armstrong scored the goal. Now, Armstrong is on the ice at the time, and I'll tell you what, Judd, the move is legal. There's nothing illegal about it, but there is the law of the jungle, and if teams around the eye want to stop Bill Armstrong from doing that, there's a very simple way to do it. And I'll just leave it at that, because Stefan Beauregard has yet to put his mask on. He's irate that that goal was scored on him in that fashion. And I guess the best thing to compare it to is maybe the hidden ball trick in baseball, is the only thing I can think of. It is a legal move, but I'll guarantee you that the players in this league do not feel that that is the proper way to score a goal.
John Anderson wants an explanation. Joe Ernst, I don't think, is going to come over there. Now Joe Ernst will come over and have a word with John Anderson. Kurt Fraser not reacting the same way, which leads me to believe this does not go in the Wolves' favor.
Well, and Breslin has gone to the locker room is one of the things, and we can't be quite sure what John Anderson is arguing about. I have a hard time with believing the goal, but I still think the genesis of all this, Judd, was the way the Solar Bears scored their last goal. I'll tell you what, if I'm a goaltender and I have one scored on me that way, I don't feel like I've been beaten fairly.
Well, apparently these penalties are going to offset. And John Anderson displeased.
We'll be talking to Rich Crum during the intermission. We should be able to get a better indication of what all that was about.
5 aside. Near circle, Nikic spins, lost the puck, kicked ahead by Martins. A lead too far for Pearson. Richards far point his own end. Punched it up the far side and back into the Wolves zone. Right side at center ice. Here's Seamak into the center circle, over the line, high slot. Far circle, stops, centers, near circle, Martins. Shoots just over the crossbar. He had Dahl out in front. The Wolves inadvertently knock it onto the bench, and we have a stop. Coming up during our second intermission, Jim will be talking with Wolves assistant Rich Crum. Also, we'll feature part 2 of our interview with Wolves goaltender Wendell Young and his wife Paula, plus highlights and stats. So stay with us between periods. By the way, the calls, 2 for Breslin for high sticking, 2 for roughing. Matt Martin, a game misconduct for third man in. Wow. Engelstad, 2 for high sticking and 2 for roughing. And I would have to say John Anderson is right for being irate.
And because he loses one of his defensemen, loses one of his best defensemen.
And now Joe Ernst over at the far side by the Orlando bench for some reason.
One of the linesmen is going off the ice. Apparently was cut. He had a towel held up to his face.
So Craig Brewer, the Orlando trainer, will head off to attend to him. 2:14 remains in the second period. This has been a wild game. And tied at 3. Deflected in by Baker. Left circle now Guzman. Turns, took a hit, stops. Far circle Baker. Left corner Marte, who has one tonight. Left circle Baker, backhand wide. Back of the net now McCann. Rolled it up the far side, didn't get out. Left corner now Guzmanov. Centered. Beaufait grabs it. Beaufait left wing feed. Mackey couldn't accept. And Mackey dribbles one to the left corner. Cook back to grab it. Cook far side. Baker hacked it ahead. Malte got it out to the neutral zone. Left side at center ice Baker. Lofts one into the right corner. Ahead and out. Tilly. Nearly had his pass picked off by Mackey. Now Beaufait waits for his guys to get onside. Swats it back into the near circle. Marinucci outmuscles his guy. The Wolves punching ahead. Here's Tilly, right wing at the red line. 3-on-2. High slot, Marinucci. Left circle, Marinucci shoots. Stop! and he holds on. That pass intended for Malte.
The Wolves again, a good job of moving the puck in tight with short passes over some pretty rough terrain. And it chance Alan Vesker with an outstanding glove save to keep the Wolves off the board. First of all, Marinucci sending it ahead. Didn't get it through the first time, so decided to take the shot. Malte trying to cause a little traffic.
And Bester will have his team shorthanded right now. Steve Mackey has headed into the box with 1:16 remaining here in the second. Around the far circle, the Orlando end. Far point now, Dahl. Shoots, gloved out in front. And now we're going to have a penalty on Pearson as Richard got swatted from behind. Puck fired on goal, and Beauregard makes the stop. Pearson comes over to try and plead his case for a brief man advantage.
There was a slash that sent Dave Mackey to the box. Pearson hooks the blade around his shoulder, pulls his man down, and it's a pretty easy way to get two as Richards goes tumbling to the ice.
Isn't that a Stones tune?
Tumbling ice, yes.
So Pearson will sit down, and we will end this period 4-aside apparently. Wolves trailed 1-0 and 2-1. They had a 3-2 lead, but Orlando able to tie it up, and a goal by Bill Armstrong, which will obviously be highlights tonight. High slot now, Marinucci. Near circle, Godiniuk with right of the net, walks in, slides it across, and he got hammered into the near post. The fact to have fractured Gori Panalev, who just could not handle his countryman's size.
Well, the sound of that collision of Guzmanov and the post was a lot worse than it actually turned out to be. Panalev had the angle, and boy,
it's showing no fear.
Yeah, exactly. Godiniuk, excuse me, and he's lucky he didn't meet the post face first. Panalev just hit him right in the shoulders.
Drawn near circle in the Orlando end, McCann near corner. Walks up the middle, leaves it in the near circle. Richardson hustles back for it, plays it ahead and down into the Wolves zone. Back of the net, Panalev will get there first. Took the hit from Godiniuk. Near corner, Beaufait. Beaufait near circle. Beaufait, high slot, McCann. Shoots, blocked. Rebound to Bergman. Swings to Dahl, center circle. Left wing feed, Marinucci won't get there in the far corner first. The Wolves can't keep it in far side. It comes out 10 seconds remaining here in the second. Center circle, Bergman. Shovels it ahead, Dahl, center circle, 4 seconds left. Left side over the line, Nardella shoots, Bester the stop, and he has to close the 5-hole as the buzzer sounds. Bob Nardella nearly Wolves a 4-3 lead at the end of 40 minutes of play. But as it stands in this seesaw game, we are evened up on the fulcrum at 3 apiece. And what has been a wild penalty-filled affair. John Anderson disgusted by the officiating. In particular, the call on Matt Martin for third man in, which has given him the game misconduct and put the Wolves down one defenseman. Checking our second period scoring summary, sponsored by Craftsman. Sean McCann made it 2-1 Orlando with his 9th of the season, 30 seconds in from Hubie McDonough. But Steve Malte registered his deflection at 3:15 from Matt Martin. And then the Wolves took their first lead. Kevin Dahl, a power play goal, a backhand in the far circle, his 8th of the season, time 7:23. Martins and Seamack the helpers, but Bill Armstrong with a lacrosse goal, cradling the puck and slamming it by Beauregard, his 15th of the year at 17:01 from Hollis and Beaufait. Shots after 40 minutes in favor of the Wolves, 23-9. Stay with us when we return here in the second intermission. My partner Jim live with Wolves assistant Rich Crom. This is Chicago Wolves Hockey.
Ship your package in 2 days with FedEx. You run into 7 different prices.
Ship your package in 2 days with UPS. And you'll run into 7 different price zones.
Ship your package in 2 to 3 days with priority mail. One price zone.
So, priority mail from the
How far will your gas dollar take you? Well, that depends where you spend it. At Clark, you'll get gas that's as good as any of the big guys, but you'll pay less for it. That way, you get more gas for your dollar, which means your money will take you farther. We call that more miles per dollar. Clark, great gas, great price.
Now it's easy for everyone to go wireless with the Cellular 123 prepaid card. It's simple, because whenever you start running low on minutes, you just buy more airtime. Plus, there's no contract or monthly bill, and you can use your old phone or buy a new one. And if that isn't reason enough to celebrate, then what is? Cellular One, the wireless phone company.
Welcome back to the Orlando Arena. 3 apiece, Wolves and Solar Bears here in the second intermission. Downstairs, my partner Jim Blaney is standing by with our second intermission guest, Wolves assistant coach Rich Crom, sponsored by LaSalle Banks. Jim?
Judd, thank you very much. Rich, your team has outplayed Orlando. You certainly had the better part of the chances, yet on the scoreboard it's tied. I would have to think the guys have got to be pretty frustrated.
Well, I think they are, but we're not going to lose our focus right now. We've been playing a real strong hockey game tonight, and unfortunately, we gave them a couple real good scoring opportunities that they were able to capitalize on. And, we'll just stick to our game plan and play the way we've been playing the first 2 periods. We'll be fine.
Head coach John Anderson was very upset after the last altercation. Was the reason that he was so piqued because of the game misconduct that was given to Matt Martin?
Well, of course, you lose one of your defensemen for the balance of the game. I mean, you're going to be frustrated. Now you go with 5 guys, it leaves us short in the back end. And there wasn't really a fight. It was a bit of a skirmish with everybody involved. So to pick one guy and single him out, it's sort of unfair. I think that's what John was upset about.
That's the crux of the matter, the fact that there wasn't truly an altercation because there weren't 5-minute majors, but yet there was a game misconduct given out. Correct?
Correct. I mean, there was a group of players all piled in together, and Matty came in there, and he might have been the 3rd guy in, but there was no fight to begin with.
We're going to take a look at the Bill Armstrong goal. And as somebody who's played this game for a long time, coaching in the game now, I just want your feeling on this play. Granted, it's legal, but your feelings on this play according to the code of the game of hockey.
Well, I mean, it's a legal play, and he's been successful with it. And for him tonight, it becomes a tie, ties the game up. So, we can't complain about it. I mean, it's something that obviously the teams around the league are going to have to be aware of just because he's done it twice this year and 8 times in his career, and he's pretty good at it.
But we have to admit there is a certain code of conduct in this game, at least in my opinion. That play almost crosses the line of good sportsmanship because to me that's lacrosse, not hockey.
Well, I think anytime it's allowed in the game, a play like that, unless there's a ruling on it, I mean, we can't complain about it. It's just like anything else. Some people say calling a curved stick an illegal stick is not sportsmanlike, but people do it because it's in the rule book.
I guess short of like in basketball, there's really not a lot you can do.
That's it. We just have to be aware of it and know when he's on the ice, there's a possibility he's going to try the play.
Rich, thank you for your time. Good luck in the 3rd period. Wolves assistant coach Rich Crom joining us during the intermission. We are tied at 3-3 at the end of 2 periods of play. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
Adolphus Busch went to Germany every summer looking at different breweries, and he wrote a series of letters back to his son. September the 20th, 1897. I would advise that we buy the finest growths of barley as soon as we can. We cannot make fine malt from inferior barley, and we cannot make fine beer from inferior malt.
Oh, hi, honey. How are you?
This is a crime. that's 12 seconds from happening, but won't. Because someone saw the writing on the wall. In a world you can't always trust, there's one name you can. Brinks Home Security. Incredibly, only $99 installed. You save $100. Call 1-800-9-BRINKS. There's only one Brinks.
All across America, you're there to see us through.
Jiffy Lube has serviced 120 million vehicles, over 13 million Chicagoland. That means we've performed our service 120 million times. Now that's experience you can count on. And we offer Pennzoil.
3,000 miles, you make us smile. America's Jiffy Lube.
Jiffy Lube, Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana's favorite oil change.
Bring the whole pack to Hang Time Sports Bar and Grill at 48 Route Boulevard in Buffalo Grove.
Turn to Fox Kids and take the ride on the Fox Kids February season premiere with new episodes of your favorites.
I got it.
And 6 new shows, like Ned's Note.
Groovy. I'll take it.
He started as a small pet, then became a giant pet. A pet with pizzazz, charm, talent. A pet that can tear the house apart without mom and dad even knowing.
Cool.
Turn to Ned's Newt, Saturdays at 7:30 on Fox Chicago.
You never really leave this place. You just go home for a while. FLA, USA.
Start unpacking. Miami, it's tropic cool.
Well, in coming to the Wolves, Young became one of the core players.
It's something that we're proud of, that we're part of the building process from the start and to where the franchise is today.
Young's move to the Wolves was not only good for his career, but it was also an important one for his family, which includes wife Paula and children Gabrielle and Matthew. Paula and Wendell have been together from the start.
We met our first year in high school. That was 20 years ago. We started dating that spring. So we've been together now 19 years, married almost 12. It's been easier for me because I've been with him from the beginning. I've always felt that whatever I wanted to do was going to be on the back burner because Wendell was only going to get one shot at this. He couldn't retire and go back to doing this job. So I felt it was important to always support him unconditionally.
With anything, you know, they always talk about your wife and your family with support, and that's all I've had is nothing but support in that aspect. You know, it's not an easy game, and you know, you go through a lot of ups and downs. But I think at home and with your family, I think it puts everything on an even keel.
But sometimes it's very tough due to the nature of professional sports.
I don't think a lot of people realize there's, even though you get all the accolades and you know, you're paid well and you're playing so-called playing a sport that you love, and you know, most people would change spots with you in a second, but they don't realize that a lot of times, you know, you're moving from city to city, you're pulling your children out of school, you're changing. Even when I was here my first year and I ended up going back to Pittsburgh, I had just over 2 hours to get from the rink home, get packed, and be on a plane into Pittsburgh, and just pick the kids up from school, see them leaving, and I was gone for over 4 months. So it's a tough situation. I don't think a lot of people realize what you go through.
The chance to stay and play in the same city for several years has been good for the Young family.
It's been really nice these past 4 years because our children are 8 and 6, so they've done. Our daughter Gabrielle has been in school from kindergarten up through 3rd grade now here. And it's been nice that they've had that balance at this point in their lives. They've made some really good friends here. We have a great school we're very pleased with. So it's been nice to have that balance in their lives.
I was fortunate enough to stay in Pittsburgh for 4 years, and I felt really comfortable there. And you know, coming to Chicago, my first year, I thought I was only going to be here for the duration of the year, and that was going to be it. And I was actually planning on retiring at that time, but Chicago Wolves, Grant Mulvey came back and offered me a 3-year deal to come back to Chicago. You know, the opportunity was there, and I felt good about it, and I felt good considering that you know, it was a chance for me to stay and play hockey in one place for a long time.
Young has also been able to balance his life at the rink and at home. Rarely does he bring his work home with him.
If it's been a bad game, or if it's been a loss that's particularly bothered him, he really doesn't bring it home. If I have the kids at the game, one child still drives home with him and one drives home with me, and that's how it goes, and we'll go out for a bite to eat. That never changes.
Being upset at home, no, I try not to bring it home. You know, I don't bring it in the door. I think once I leave the rink, the game's over, and you know, I did my best, and let's worry about it tomorrow when we get to practice.
There will be very few more practices in Young's professional career. He has decided that this season will be his last, no matter what the outcome.
I plan on this being my last year, and I think 15 years of pro hockey's enough. Got to settle down, and I always said that it's a kid's game played by adults, and it's time for me to grow up and be an adult.
The Wolves and Solar Bears all tied up at 3. It's not Wendell Young in net for the Wolves tonight, but Stefan Beauregard. He has played well. He hasn't faced a lot of action, but we're tied after 40 minutes. Jim and I will bring you back for highlights and stats in just a moment. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
Generations have relied on us for their gas and energy needs. Given a choice, it seems everyone would. Energy from Nicor. Make yourself comfortable.
Tires turning, pistons pumping, 115 horses charging. The Chevy Cavalier. You love it for the little things like its starting price. You stop in the rain, ABS and dual airbags lifting your confidence, and idle quietly until an admirer's horn shatters the silence. Does his jealousy feed your pride? Dare he honk at your good fortune? Or is it merely that the light has turned green?
Right now, get cash back or low financing on the Chevy Cavalier.
As we get ready for the third period of play, let's take a look back at our second period Clark on-the-go highlights. Starting the second, we are tied at 1-1, but the Orlando Solar Bears go on top tied up 30 seconds into the period. Sean McCann is 9th of the year. That gave Orlando a 2-1 lead, but the Wolves would come back just under 3 minutes later at even strength. Steve Malte couldn't find the ears on it the first time, but just hung out. And as we see happen so many times, the opposition forgets about Malte. He tips in the shot from the point by Matt Martin. That gave the Wolves a 2-2 tie. At the 7:23 mark, the Wolves come back on the power play and take their first lead of the game. Kevin Dahl comes up with a puck, shovels it in over the shoulder of Alan Bester to give the Wolves a 3-2 lead. And then at the 17:01 mark, Bill Armstrong, for the second time this week, goes to the move made famous, even though he invented it, by Mike Legg of Michigan. I'm still really not sure how the law of gravity works that you pick this up, but anyway, shovels it into the upper corner of the net with the lacrosse move, and there we are, tied at 3-3 at the end of 2 periods of play.
Our Coca-Cola second period statistics show the Wolves vastly ahead in shots, 23-9. They only allowed 3 in the second period. A lot of penalties in this game. Down in the truck, we have the Wolves going 1 for 9, the Solar Bears 1 for 5. On the score sheet we've been handed, it has the Wolves 1 for 7 and Orlando 1 for 6. So I don't know who you want to believe. The scoring chances vastly in favor of Chicago, 14-5. I don't even think that the Solar Bears have had 5. But nonetheless, we are all tied up at 3 heading into the third period.
Well, we've seen this at various times throughout the year, Judd, where the Wolves have outplayed an opponent, but yet found themselves in a tight game. And it comes down to every time a player has to make a decision on where to go with the puck, that they make the right decision and make the one that can least likely end in a mistake that ends up in your net. And if the Wolves can do that consistently in this period, they'll win this game.
Far point in his own zone. Gardenia slides it ahead. We begin 4 aside. There's a minor remaining to Dave Mackey and to Scott Pearson. They are not coincidental. The Solar Bears will have a brief power play. Malte in the far circle. Calls off Beauregard. Leaves it in the far corner for Dahl. Dahl works ahead on right wing. Left wing feed Malte. Kicked it over the line. Near circle McCann. McCann rolls it around. Or tried to. Stolen by Guzmanov. Far point now Dahl. Dahl. Knocked off the puck by Mickish. And McCann in front of his net. Fires it off the wall near side. And after center ice, Mackey just out of the box. Couldn't reach it. A very brief power play here for Orlando. Pearson will be out of the box in 7 seconds. Hankinson, right side at center, ice, rips it in, gloved by Beauregard with that right hand, and he elects to freeze as Scott Pearson exits the box.
We have had a lot of accounting done tonight by the guys in the penalty box, that's for certain.
This Chicago Wolves telecast may not be reproduced or retransmitted without the express written consent of the Chicago Wolves and the IHL. No unauthorized use is permitted.
So what about all the people who want to replay that Bill Armstrong goal? Do they have to pay you? Is that how the deal works?
Well,
do you get a residual out of that?
No, my other Wolves hat as PR guy. Play it as much as you want. Far circle, Richards. Richards left of the net, walks in. Didn't get much of a shot off. Beauregard read it and saw it. The Wolves maintain their checks out in front. 2 years ago, Todd Richards had 73 points with Orlando.
You know, the Solar Bears, Judd, they've been winning a lot lately, but the thing that really jumps out about you with them, 17th in the league in the power play, 15th in the penalty kill. It almost makes you believe the Emperor has no close of it, because unless you get that turned around, you really wonder how long they can keep this going for.
Back of the net, Gamewood slams it up the far side. Held in by Potvin, far point. Got some help from Marinucci on the ill-advised pass by Mackey. Richards rolls it in and around. Hankinson lost it in the near circle to Tilley. Slams ahead on left wing to Berger. Over the red line, he punches one of the far corner. The Wolves will make some changes. Behind his net, Damewood played his college hockey at Northern Michigan, not far from his hometown of Marquette, Michigan. Lost at center circle. Now here's Marinucci over the line left side to the high slot. Near circle, Seamack stops, starts, centers, deflected, Bester the save, and Bester stops that second offering from Scott Pearson, who out-muscled Hankinson.
The Wolves have been doing this a lot tonight, using a drop pass to ignite a chance on offense. That time again, this time came in a little farther inside the blue line. There's the drop pass, picked up by Seamack, and then instead of going wide, just flips it through the crease and cutting in the backside of the play. Pearson was digging hard for the net.
Scotty Pearson with 22 goals, make it 12 assists as he picked up a helper on Dahl's power play tally. Near circle of his own end, McCann throws it up the middle by Panalev. Beauregard leaves it in the near corner. Hollis traps it at the hash marks. Cook steps into him. McDonough tries to get around Martins, then lost his footing. And now we have a stop. Are we going to have a penalty on the Wolves?
Sure are.
Oh, my.
Exactly what we're going to have. And Kevin Dahl is maybe in more disbelief than anybody in this entire building that he's going to the box.
So the Wolves all-star defenseman will sit down, and I think John Anderson is just exasperated at this point and decides not to say anything to Joe Ernst.
Well, the good news is Orlando, generally speaking, not very good on the power play. Now there's Martins pulling down Hubie McDonough. You could have maybe made an argument about a penalty being called there, but then Everybody gathered in the corner and just fell down on top of the puck.
I don't think that was the call.
No.
Far point, Armstrong left circle, driven on goal, but Beauregard made the stop, denying Hollis. Back of the net, Panaleev walks out in front, shoots, deflected by the Wolves to the high slot. McCann shoots, Beauregard the stop, rebound carried ahead by Godiniuk, and he muscles it out to center ice. Over the line, left side, Godiniuk left circle, shoots, Bester the stop. Oh, if Godiniuk completed that, that could have been our play of the game. Here's Armstrong, who scored the lacrosse goal, his 15th of the year, to tie it at 3 late in the second. Sends it around to the far corner. Far point now McCann. McCann, far circle, Hollis. Shoots, Beauregard the stop. Malte shovels it ahead, couldn't get it by Armstrong. Left circle now, Panaleev took a swat from Cook. Cook still swatting at him. Now Baker forces Panaleev from the puck, and the Wolves drive it out, and then Cook knocks Panaleev down. And then Cook ushered onto the bench by Godiniuk. Near side at center ice, Beaufait with it. The Wolves short another 50 seconds. Far side over the line now, Mackey into the far corner. Back of it up, Beaufait couldn't retrieve that bouncing puck. Nardella kicks it ahead, trapped by Richardson. Squirts up the near side, and Richardson will have to lumber for it out at center ice. Richards instead gets it out in front of his net. Richards, who was plagued by inconsistency early in the year, brings it across. Just now started to get his game back to rolling, and we have a stop and play, I believe, for a hand pass. We're about 4 minutes into the third, and we're tied at 3.
My question on the Orlando power play is, why wouldn't you put Bill Armstrong out there on a power play? Because and just have him stand behind the net, because even if he doesn't get the puck, one of the penalty killers has to account for him back there, and you have a defender down below the goal line where he really can't do anything.
And apparently we have an offside, so a face-off back in the neutral zone. The Wolves short for only 13 more seconds. If they kill this off, this will be their 7th kill on 8 chances shorthanded.
This is where the penalty came that started, and Kevin Dahl, that's where he got called for roughing. I've seen worse.
Oh no, Panaleev definitely took a dive. We have a stop right now for a whistle from Joe Ernst. This is away from the plate. Is Mackey gonna go? Just a face-off for a penalty.
The door to the penalty box is not opening. The discussion is about where the face-off will be.
Well, Mackey has already made his way into the box a couple of times.
He got his jersey fixed, Judd. He was wearing 7 when the game started without a nameplate. The cleaners must be open late here in Orlando.
The Wolves back at full strength. Dahl out of the box. Far corner, Hankinson. Work done by Nardella. Hankinson has some size to the far point. Shot fired at the net, but the Solar Bear had his stick shattered. That was Drager. Now the Wolves get it out. Here's Dahl. Over the line, left wing feed for Potvin. Left circle, shoots. Buster got a piece of that one. Potvin's going to hustle back to the bench along with Dahl. Here's McCann. Right wing at center ice, Mikic. Saucers it to the far corner. Cookworth punches it around to the near side. Held in by Hankinson. Along the near side now, Armstrong. Far point. Engelstad shoots. Beauregard, a glove save on the ice, and we have a stop. 14:58 remains in regulation, 3 apiece. This is Chicago Wolves Hockey.
Chicago sports fans are known across the country for their savvy. What's the primary source of that savvy? The savviest sports writing team in Chicago, the staff of the Chicago Sun-Times sports section. It's a team that writes with style and substance. A team that doesn't just cover, but uncovers, too. A team that's concise, precise, and feisty. Come on now, get savvy. Get hold of the Sun-Times today.
I love my job. My name is Kelly Walker. I work in a daycare center. Keeps me busy. The kids are very active, moving and jiggling and boogieing all day long. I think their energy is contagious. It's a long day. It can be hard. Even when it's hard, it's the kids. They're what keeps me coming back in the morning.
Every day, over 100,000 people depend on Pace, along with millions of people who depend on them.
Pace, a fresh approach to public transportation.
Here's one way to defeat somebody who's trying to tie you up with their stick. Just take your hand and grab their stick, and then use a one-hand shovel pass. As Kevin Dahl does to Mark Potvin, and boy, he was sliding away from the puck, shooting back across all his body. He got all of it and got it on net too. Alan Bester with a fine save.
Far corner now, Godinia. Instructed to throw it hard ahead and out. Does. Controlled by Orlando. Along the near side at center ice, Seamak couldn't free it. Godiniak in front of his net. Godiniak jams it ahead. I think that was a bank pass intended to go out, but Panalea nearly stole it. Now Godiniak's lost his stick. Fed behind the net. We have a penalty upcoming on Orlando. Seamak ahead on left wing. Beauregard's going to head to the bench. Center circle, Godiniak slams it in. Who's going to get there? Touched by Engelstad, and we get the call. And the Wolves will go to the power play looking to take a 4-3 lead.
Well, I couldn't tell from the signal whether it was a hold or a hook, but it's a penalty nonetheless. And going to take a seat in the penalty box.
Judge Ito.
It's a good guy to get in the box. It almost eliminates the possibility of a shorty, which is good.
Well, not necessarily. He has two. McCann also has two. Both of those came with Milwaukee.
Right.
And the Wolves to the power play for the first time in the third, eighth time in the game, unofficially. The Wolves win the draw. Near point Tilly. The Wolves have a goal on the power play from Kevin Dahl tonight. Back of the net, centered by Baker. Winds up at the far point for Nardella. Throws it down to the far hash marks Malte. High slot Nardella. Shoots! Mr. Stick save. Back of the net. Gloved by McCann. Back up the near side just by Tilly's glove and down.
Yeah, I just think it needs to be pointed out, Judd, that entire sequence started because Jamie Baker won the draw and won it clean to start the power play. That it's so critical, it's so often overlooked.
Center circle, Malte. Left wing over the line, now cuts to the high slot, swings it in the near circle. Richardson backhands it ahead and barely out. Tilly with it, eighth among defensemen with 40 points. Got it ahead and Malte jammed it to the left post, back of the net McCann. Throws it around to the far side and out. Bob Nardella was still out in the neutral zone, couldn't get to his point in time. Tilly, left wing feed Guzmanov. Couldn't accept that pass. Coming back to grab it is Richards, and we have icing. And the draw will come back into the Chicago zone. The Wolves with only 3 shots on goal thus far in the period.
And you saw that once the Wolves lost control of the puck and couldn't hold it in, they were never able to set up their power play again. And another indication of how important these draws are. I think that's the least appreciated part of the game by most hockey fans, is the ability of good centermen to win draws and win them cleanly, especially on a power play.
The Wolves just did that. Steve Martins got it back to Godiniak. Right wing Dahl out at center ice into the center circle. Left wing Martins kicked it over the line. That puck just wouldn't roll for him, allowing Mackey to drive it down the length of the ice. The Wolves on the power play, another 40 seconds. Here comes Dahl, winds it up. Cuts right, feeds Godiniak at the red line. Drills it in the right corner, off the glass it comes, over to the near side. Martins traps it. Pearson kicked it behind the net, far corner. Dahl's gonna pinch. Richardson throws it down the length of the ice. Beauregard shovels it over to the near side for Martins. Martins lays it behind the net. Armstrong stole it right over the net. Mickish shoots wide. I don't think Beauregard was ready for it, but Mickish missed the target. Wolves in the power play, another 9 seconds. Center circle, Dahl. Dahl to the line left side. Feeds it in the left corner. Drager with it. Drager couldn't get it by Dahl. The penalty is over. Dahl near point. Dahl, left circle, Martins. Centers. Pearson had his stick tied up. The puck floats out to the neutral zone. Dahl gets it in the near circle. Wings it over to the far side. Here's Hankinson. Shoots off Dahl's skate. Now Pearson pumps one high in the air into the left corner. Coming back to touch is Drager. And we have icing, 12:01 remaining in regulation. 3 apiece. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
Fans, everyone who attends a Wolves home game can score a 7-11 power play. When the Wolves score a power play goal, you simply take your ticket stub from the game to a participating 7-Eleven within 48 hours and receive a free 7-Eleven deli sandwich.
Within the last week, the area right around Orlando, in fact, just north of here, was ravaged by a tornado. Several people lost their lives and their homes. Wendell Young went down to clean out his stuff from his old home that he sold in Tampa Bay, and he is going to donate it right here at the Orlando Arena, where they have collection bins assessed, or actually laid out. I was thinking about the penalty there that's going to be called, but Wendell Young is donating a couple of baby seats. He's donating some clothing, also a changing table to help some of the people get by over what was devastating earlier this week, a tornado that just ravaged the area.
Well, it needs to be pointed out, Chud, the fact of the matter is the guys that play this game, it's not just Wendell Young doing things like that, it's guys that play this game at all sorts of levels that are very community conscious and take care of things around the home, and those things need to be pointed out because, after all, it is just a game.
Right circle, Holly shoots well wide. Far circle, Beaufait shoots, never got through. The Wolves short-handed here, Breslin in the box. Center circle, Tilly. Tilly over the line, left side. Tilly, left circle. Tilly, centering pass block. Now near corner, Beaufait. He started things out for Orlando on the power play. Near point in his own end, McCann backhands it ahead. Beaufait coughed it up, and the Wolves drive it down deep. Behind his net, McCann. He's up the near side. Beaufait forced from the puck by Malte. Breslin in the box for holding. Wolves short-handed for the third time in the third. Beaufait pumps it over to the far corner. Dahl there first, wings it up the far side, and helped by Baker out to center ice. Wolves short for another 55 seconds. Orlando changes. Panalea to the center circle, Richards. The line far side, that's an offside, and I don't know what Nicholas is complaining about because he wasn't even close.
There have been times in this game where the Wolves penalty kill has looked more threatening than the Orlando power play. And hockey players being the creative sorts that they are, Eric Nicholas's name, of course, is Jack.
Center circle now, Mickish. Over the line, left side. Nicholas shoots. And Beauregard a stick save the Wolves. Hack a backhand between the rings and the Orlando end. 10:25 remains in regulation. 3 apiece. The Wolves short-handed. High slot, Nardella able to get it away from McDonough. Backhands ahead. Over the line is Potvin. Potvin tried to poke it to himself in the slot, taken off the biscuit by Mickish. The Wolves short only another 15 seconds. Right side at center ice, McDonough. High slot feed, Armstrong. Now McDonough had it stripped, held in by Richards. Shoots, Beauregard to stop the rebound. Martin's got out of there. High slot, Taymor shoots. Beauregard to stop, rebound, they score! The Wolves just couldn't get that puck out, and it's 4-3 Orlando. And Tim Breslin gave Joe Ernst a piece of his mind after that call.
And Stefan Beauregard took a shot at Eric Nicholas. Normally, it's not a good play to try and clear the puck up the center of the ice, but when you're killing a penalty and the other team is putting the heat on, you just do whatever you can to try and clear the puck out of your zone. Stefan Beauregard made a big save right before the goal, but when the puck just kept coming back up the middle, and the Wolves just couldn't quite clear it out. There was one clearing attempt, another 6 inches, and the Wolves would have been fine. But credit the Orlando Solar Bears for doing a great job of keeping the puck in.
High slot, Mackey. Had it swatted away from behind by Godinho. Near circle, now Beaufait walks out in front and it punched away to Berglund. Berglund couldn't backhand it out. Now Breslin does. Slides it in the far corner. Breslin chugging for it against Taymor. Plastered him against the wall. Near corner, Berglund. Berglund, near circle. Berglund shoots wide. Far side, it rolls to Mackey. Mackey The center circle broken up by Godinho. Breslin couldn't get onside. Richardson with it. Well, for the third time in the game, the Wolves trailed. They did have a brief 3-2 lead in the second period, but now 2 unanswered by Orlando. Gets them back, up by a goal. Malte kicked it over the line. Drager in the left corner. Grabs Baker. Along the near side, Baker still working for it, and we have a whistle. 8:53 remains in regulation. 4-3 Orlando.
Well, we're getting down to the time of the game where maybe it's time for Steve Malte to kind of take the team on his shoulders and carry it a little bit. The Wolves need a goal to tie it.
We'll bring you back to Orlando in a moment. This is Chicago Wolves hockey.
They jump in. They jump out. They jump in. They jump out. Chevy Venture. They jump in. Fun-filled family entertainment. They jump out, especially with that optional automatic sliding door. Never thought their favorite ride would be out here in the lot, now did you? In one more time, out. Yeah, they'll be asleep by 9.
Now get 4.9% financing for 48 months on the Chevy Venture minivan.
And let's start with the brewmaster for just a moment. The brewmaster is the chef, and that is the key brewmaster role, to understand the blending of his or her ingredients. Not only he or she tastes the beer every day, there's another person who tastes the beer every day, and that is me. The ability to have hands-on brewmasters working with the finest ingredients gives you Budweiser.
As you all well know, I like to scout mascots. We have the pig in Milwaukee that couldn't go top shelf. Believe me, skates can skate a lot better than shades. In a race, it wouldn't even be close. And that's your scouting report.
Puck free to Hollis up the right side at center ice. Feeds it just over the line. McDonough took a hack from Nardella. Back of the net. McDonough got knocked off the puck by Nardella. Far point Henderson dribbles it down to the far corner. High slot Drager shoots wide. We have a penalty upcoming on the Wolves. What's it going to be? Slash? Yep. And the Wolves will go shorthanded, and Malte will head into the box. And the Wolves going shorthanded at a difficult time, trailing by a goal with 8.5 remaining.
Being the kind of guy that always looks ahead to the bright side, the Wolves can kill this off. You've got the most dangerous goal scorer in the entire IHL coming out of the box.
Angry.
But the Wolves are going to have to take care of the 2 minutes in front of that first.
UB McDonough's 24th from Richards and Dameworth at 11:07 on the power play. Has given Orlando the lead here in the third. These are the two best third period teams in the eye. The Wolves having outscored their opponents by 20 coming in, Orlando by 16. Back of the net, Dahl. Couldn't get it free from Panalea. Near circle Beaufait. Right corner Panalea. Near point McCann. High slot. Armstrong had it roll on him. High slot Armstrong. Near point McCann. Right circle now Panalea. Near point McCann. Throws it behind the net. Bordini rolls it up the far side. Armstrong kept it in but shattered his stick. Here comes Baker and he'll feed it down the length of the ice.
Hate those sticks.
The Wolves change their killers. Here comes McCann out to center ice. Left wing feed. Touched by Hollis over too many lines.
You see that happen so often, and I personally have a hard time. The reason why the players like the aluminum shafted stick with the wooden end in it is the stick is more consistent that way because the shaft doesn't change. Whereas you can get, players will get a couple dozen sticks in and they'll go through and they'll check them for field. They'll maybe only find 2 or 3 that they actually like. So that's the advantage to the aluminum shafted stick or the graphite shafted stick, is the fact that it's more consistent, and that's why some players prefer that.
Dropped the near point in the Orlando end. The Wolves haven't had much pressure this period. Granted, they've been shorthanded 4 times. And the Wolves drive it down by Bester. And back of the net, here comes McCann. He's played an awful lot of ice. Feeds it ahead, and Berglund gets to it, swats it back in. McCann in front of his net, now circles behind. Gets away from Breslin. Far side at center ice, Richards. bounces it to the near circle in the Wolves zone. Cook plays it up the near side. Nicholas kept it in. Near point McCann. Throws it around the wall over to the far corner. Nicholas. Back of the net. Returned over to the near side. Now McDonough near side. Right of the net, Mackey. Near point McCann. McCann shoots. Beauregard the stop, and he holds. Beauregard able to make saves through traffic as he and Nicholas continue their running battle.
Yeah, Stefan Beauregard, ever since the goal by Armstrong, is not taking too kindly to any Orlando Solar Bear being anywhere near his crease.
Well, the Solar Bears have put on an assault this period thanks to the power play. They now have 22 shots on goal, which is more than they had in the first 2 periods combined. They only had 9 after the first 40 minutes. The Wolves punch the puck in the air, and we're going to have a stop for a stick knockdown or a puck knockdown with a high stick. The Wolves short another 27 seconds, then Steve Malte will be free. The Wolves attempting to tie this one up at 4.
Wolves getting a bit of a break here. The faceoff coming down to the Orlando end of the ice.
Steve Martins will step in and take the faceoff. Martins with a goal and an assist tonight. Martins chases it in the near corner. McCann bangs it ahead out to the neutral zone center circle. Panalev over the line far side against Dahl. Panalev hammered by Dahl. He hacked it down low. Near corner Godinho. Couldn't jam it by Hankinson. They hammer at it along the near side. Hankinson, right circle, moves in, shoots, blocked. Rebound off the glass, far corner. Malte out of the box. The Wolves at full strength. Far point now, Richards. Throws it down behind the net. Panalev, near corner, bothered by Dahl. Dahl presses him against the glass. Pearson tries to drive it out. Right corner, Bofill. Centers, deflected by Hankinson. Martins tied his stick up. Here's Malte, center circle. Malte over the line left side against McCann. Pokes the puck between his legs and got tackled. And we have a penalty here on Orlando. And Kurt Fraser is incensed. I got to tell you, I got to side with Orlando right there.
But give credit to Steve Malte, Judd, because he knew that he was the only fresh man on the ice, that he had no help coming with him, so he had to force the action and try and make something happen. He couldn't just dump it in because he had nobody with him, so that's why he went to the center of the ice. And I'm sorry, the top goal scorer in the eye over the last 4 years, he's a dangerous man, and Sean McCann took no chances. Granted, maybe not a penalty in most circumstances, but that penalty was created by the fact that Steve Malte is so dangerous with the puck.
And don't think he didn't know that McCann was out there for the full 2 minutes on that power play. He wanted to test his stamina. So the Wolves go to the power play unofficially for the 9th time. They've only scored once with it. Baker, Guzmanov, and Malte up front. Nardell and Tilly on the blue line. Orlando bats the faceoff to the near hash marks. Near corner Baker. High slot Nardell. Fakes. Oh, his pass, a slow one. McDonough got it out at center ice. Nardell outfights McDonough for the puck, but Orlando's going to regain control. That'll take time off the clock. It's going to be difficult to do anything fancy with the puck because the ice is awful. Here's Tilly, motoring to the center circle. Punches it in the left corner. Around it comes to the far side. Damewood couldn't get it ahead. And it's intercepted by the Solar Bears and driven back into the Wolves zone. Far corner Tilly. The Wolves in the power play, another minute 15. Tilly ahead on left wing. Martins over the line left side. Martins left circle. Finds it off the end towards the Malte. Centered out in front. Guzmanov went in too deep. There's a set play. Now Mickish far side at center ice. Rink wide to Richards. Richards floats one into the high slot, not deep. Dahl with it. Plays it ahead. Mickish kicked it away from the Wolves. Here's Armstrong. Got knocked down. Center circle Martins. Speeds over the line right side. Fires it around. Over to the near side. Pearson looking around. Malte and Pearson took the hits. Godinho keeps it in. Left corner now. Richards behind the net. Richards slams it up the near side. Malte with it. Left circle Malte. Centers. Mister able to make the stop, and it almost rolled over top of him and in. Beauregard leaves it in the far circle for Godinho. Godinho. Center circle Martins. Martins over the line, high slot. Martins, left circle, Pearson shoots. Into the near side it goes. Both they couldn't get it by Godiniak at the near point. And now we're going to have a stop and a penalty out in front. We're going to have roughing. Is this going to be on Orlando? And I think Mark Beaufait is complaining because the penalty is going to be on Orlando, and he pointed to the scoreboard. You can't ref the score.
Todd Richards is the guilty party.
So the Wolves right back to the man advantage.
Well, we'll knock a one off the 16, and we get our culprit.
Actually, the Wolves will have a 12-second two-man advantage with an opportunity to maybe tie and take the lead. Sean McCann will be the first one out of the box. Baker, Seamak, Malte, Nardella, Tilley up front. Wolves win the draw. Near point, Nardella. To the near side, the pass never got to Seamak, and Hankinson with it. And John Anderson beside himself on the Wolves bench. Still time, 4 minutes remaining in regulation. Wolves trailing 4-3. Outside at center ice, Baker into the center circle. Baker right wing feed Nardella over the line right side, into the right circle. Stops far corner. Looks around, right circle Nardella. Right of the net, Baker. Baker right of Baker, far circle Malte. Malte, right of the net, Baker. Centers. Never get through. Seamak, far side. Swats it to the far point, Nardella. Nardella throws it down behind the net. Malte battling, comes up the near side. Tilley will pinch. Took a hit from Hankinson. Back of the net, Malte. Malte, center, Seamak, batted it wide. And it's drilled off the glass just by Nardella and out. The Wolves on the power play, another minute. Over the line, high slot, Seamak. Bumps around McCann, just out of the box. Left corner, Seamak. Back of the net, Malte. Near corner, Seamak. Near point, Tilley. Deflected. Mister, what a stop over at the far post on Malte. And it's winged down the length of the ice. Wolves on the power play, another 40 seconds. Here's Tilley. Far circle, slides ahead, Marinucci over the line, now left side is Guzmanov. Guzmanov near point, turns. Tilley, right circle, Godiniak shoots, Fister the save, rebound, swatted out. Where's the puck? Kicked over to the near side, Gregor shovels it over the glass into the crowd. The faceoff remains in the Orlando zone, and Alan Bester right now catching his breath.
Too bad this wasn't November, because the Wolves would be getting another power play. The puck flipped into the crowd out of the defensive zone. Tom Tilley saw Steve Malte camped out on the corner and delivered the puck right on the money. There's the shot that resulted in the puck. Nobody really knew for sure where it was. Hubie McDonough got a hand on it, and finally the puck came back out to the point. 20 seconds remaining on the Wolves power play.
And Alan Bester will have the trainer come out to attend to him for what I have no idea.
Similar to when your pitcher has to run out a double, and the next guy has to go back and get some more rosin or pine tar in his bat, I would imagine.
They're just buying some time for him right now.
Exactly. That's exactly what's going on.
They say he's faced only 28 shots.
As my father would say, you're not hurt, I'll tell you when you're hurt.
Draw in the near circle, the Orlando end. They win it and drive it down behind Beauregard. 13 seconds remaining on the minor to Dameworth. Still a lot of time. Left side at center ice, Guzmanov over the red line, over the blue line left side. Guzmanov off the end boards, back of the net. Richardson trying to get it the far side. Dahl kept it in. Orlando at full strength. Pearson rolls it out in front. Taken by Richardson, near point. Backhands it ahead, cut off by Godiniak. Cross ice pass. Almost caught Orlando with too many men.
Good call, sir.
Godiniak. Backhands ahead, Marinucci. Over the line left side to Pearson. Pearson left of the net. Centers. Deflected at the end boards by McDonough. Back of the net. Marinucci. Spins. Marinucci. Pressed against the wall by Gregor. Guzmanov far corner. Guzmanov got it to Marinucci. Centers. Pearson skate. Out to Mackey. 90 seconds remains in regulation. The Wolves trailing 4-3. Gardenia flips it up the near side. Marinucci gets it ahead. Malte with it. Malte, right wing feed, Tilly. Couldn't kick it in. Beauregard remains on the ice for the time being. Brought across offside by Baker, and we have a stop with 69 seconds remaining in regulation. And the draw will be out at center ice. Orlando with the lone goal this period. McDonough's 24th in the power play from Richards, and Dameworth at 11:07, which is looking like it might be the game winner.
The Wolves were just unable to win a draw in the offensive end and generate pressure on the power play. And that's really, in spite of the fact that that was 3 or 4 minutes ago now, still, that was the key. Because they just couldn't get any heat going on the power play.
John Anderson will call his troops over to not only discuss strategy, but buy them some time in a very hot building. They have to be winded.
Because John Anderson wants to keep Baker and Malte out there for as much as he can.
It'll be interesting to see if Beauregard heads back to the bench or back to the net. Bench. Malte, Guzmanov, Seamak, Tilly, Nardella on the ice for the Wolves. 6 on 5, 1:09 remains in regulation.
So the Heat, Jamie Baker right now.
And McCann slides it up the middle. The Wolves steal over the line, high slot. Oh, Guzmanov was dangling towards the net, and a late call, I believe, by the referee saying offside.
This one was close, very close. Guzmanov saw the puck lying there inside the blue line. Let's see if it throws the puck. Guzmanov is going to stay right along the blue line and come up with, yeah.
Wolves win this draw. Nardella hammers it down to the left corner. Bester back of the net, leaves it for McCann. Throws it around the far side, squirted out in front. It'll be a break for the Solar Bears. Minute remaining in regulation. Tilly. It'll be hard on this ice to make some plays. Baker right side at center ice, over the red line. Slams it behind Bester. Bester leaves it there for Richardson. Rolls it up the far side, Malte. Right corner now, Baker. Center and pass it, escape. Zone, it's not going to roll on goal, but it will. Bringing the action to the Orlando end with 23.5 remaining.
Scary thing about that, all the undulation on this green. You never know where the break might come. Well, you talk about your big draws, and here's another one. See if Malte goes back to a point, maybe. Nope, Nardella will go back to the point. Baker lets the centerman win the draw. Did it again.
Far side. Now it slides down the length of the ice. It's going to roll far enough for icing, and Nardella's going to chug back for it. And touches with 11 seconds remaining in regulation.
We had Baker do that a few times. We saw Steve Malte do it a couple weeks ago. And a result.
I don't think with this amount of time.
Hey, what happens? Baker probably figuring the chance and him getting another shot were pretty good.
Wolves fight face off. Pearson and Orlando chips it out. They're going to win the game. Regulation win over the Chicago Wolves, thanks largely to Alan Beck. The first 40 minutes.
And on that final face-off, a tech by the Orlando Solar Bears that they tied their man up. Just get to the clean. Armstrong. And don't forget the fact, final period without Matt Martin. There's no telling how much of an effect that had on the game. It certainly had to have some.
Scoring summary sponsored by Craftsman. Hubie McKay, game winner. He killed here his 24th season, a power play goal. Dameworth and Richards get the assists. Time 10:07. The Wolves could not answer that and fall here in regulation, ending their brief two-game winning streak. They are now 40-19, 92 at home. And by Coca-Cola, great on ice, always Coca-Cola. And by the energy companies of Nicor, make yourself comfortable. And by your local Chevy people you can trust when you're looking for a great car value. And by your neighborhood 7-Eleven store, oh thank heaven for 7-Eleven. And by Jiffy Lube, Chicagoland and Northwest. Drive in, drive out, drive on. And by Clark, Clark on the go, great gas, great price. By Anheuser-Busch, brewers of Bud Ice and Bud Ice Light.
When you see the name Jewel, or Osco, or President's Choice on the label, you know that inside you'll find the best. Backed with the best guarantee. Give you money back if you're not completely. Exclusive brands, only from Jewel Osco.
How far will your gas dollar take you? Well, that depends where you spend it. At Clark, you'll get gas that's as good as any of the big guys, but you'll pay less for it. That way, you get more gas for your dollar, which means your money will take you farther. We call that more miles per dollar. Clark, great gas, great price.
Judd Surratt and Jim Blaney. Fourth Bears over the Wolves. Up the saying goes that luck is the residue of design and hard work. The Wolves outworked the Solar Bears for 2 of the 3 periods, but it didn't happen.
Sometimes the winner of the game is the team that makes more big plays. Orlando got more big plays in the game, and they ended up winning the contest.
The Wolves maintained their composure, though, in the game. They trailed 1-0 and 2-1. They took a brief 3-2 lead before the third period finally commenced.
Well, there were 2 bad breaks in this game. One was the Armstrong goal. The other was when Matt Martin, the Wolves not having Matt Martin available for the third period.
Our 3 stars of the game, sponsored by Famous Amos. Bill Armstrong has to get for his play that spurred the comeback.
Yeah, that play turned the whole game around, and I think if the Wolves did get off kilter even.
The number 2 star, Stevie Martins, he made up for a miscue.
And had a couple of key face-off wins along the way as well.
So the man who kept them in it is Alan Bester, and maybe his best save in the game to keep it at 4-3.
Wins now for Alan Bester, only 9 away from his record.
The game sponsored by Famous Amos Cookies. Jim and I will bring you back to the O-Arena in a moment. This is Chicago Wolves Hockey.
I know what I want. I want a digital phone I can use anywhere, like in New York or LA. I want cool features, like a pager, so my messages reach me, and caller ID. And I want my calls to sound great. I don't know which company to choose.
With Digital Edge service, a Digital Edge phone for $49 and 2 months free local airtime, no wonder more people in Chicago choose Cellular One than any other wireless phone.
I'm Wendell Hodge. I'm a people mover. Up the stairs, down the stairs. I'm a mover. Yeah. This is just move right out of you.
With mid to depend on them. Pace, a fresh approach to public transportation.
The Orlando Arena falling. Depends on what happens with a playoff berth, but they're 3-9. Did not come up with a victory in this one. The way the Wolves played through 60 minutes, I don't think that they have. They just got some bad breaks and some bad calls against them.
Well, I think that's the key point of the game is the fact that the Wolves did work this game. The breaks just didn't go your way. When you play 82 games in a season, you are going to have nights when you. What you have to make sure you do is come back out the next night and especially come out in the playoffs and keep working that hard, and then good things will happen.
Jim, this was a very chippy game, which probably leads us right to our Powerade check of the game, who got a misconduct called by Joe Ernst.
Right, Matt Martin didn't stick around for the entire game, but he did throw the check of the game. As a matter of fact, Matt Martin was a very physical presence throughout. I like this play because look at the way he angles his man off so he's not even in the play and then takes him into the boards and eliminates him. That's great defensive. First of all, he kept his man from becoming a threat and then eliminated him and didn't allow him to get back into the play. It's beautiful defensive work.
Our Jiffy Lube save of the game came from our #1 star, Alan Bester's shine, actually in the first 2 periods.
Yeah, Alan Bester had some great, didn't really get a lot of work down the stretch, but it was early on that he kept his team in the game when the Wolves were peppering him with shots. And Alan Bester, certainly what he did in the first 40 minutes was more determinant of the way things turned out for the Solar Bears tonight than the way he played the 3rd period.
The game, you won't see that often, so focus on this one.
Bill Armstrong picks it up behind the net, and second time in a goal in this fashion, playing lacrosse. In basketball, this would be point. In hockey, around the game tonight, Bill Armstrong with the play of the game.
And if you have a chance to buy a plane ticket and get down here to Orlando, should be a doozy tomorrow. These
And I would have to imagine other members of the Chicago Wolves, not that they feel like they got cheated, but they didn't feel maybe that they got beaten cleanly in this game.
When you look at the stats in this one, Jim, it'll look like Stefan Beauregard allowed in plenty of goals on very little shots, but that was not the case. And John Anderson has said before, he doesn't mind if goals.
You really can't go anywhere up the way it was. The Wolves worked hard in this game. They just didn't get rewarded for their efforts. That's the bottom line.
And the Wolves are certainly going to have to adjust under the new enhanced enforcement of the obstruction rules. You saw plenty of power
in the early part of the game, and as
do it for us down here in Orlando. Chicago falling 4-3. Solar Bears in this one in struggles with this franchise in the past 2 years. Is next Saturday night as the Wolves return home to face off against the Long Beach Ice Dogs. Game time is at 7 o'clock. Tickets are available through Ticketmaster or at the Horizon box office. The first 5,000 fans will receive team photos courtesy of your Chicagoland Chevy dealers. If you can't make it out to the game, watch it right here on cable TV at 6:30 for Countdown to Wolves Hockey. So for Jim Blaney, this is Judd Surratt saying so long from the Orlando Arena with a final score, Solar Bears 4, the Wolves 3.
This is the Wolves Television Network. During the first 2 seasons, hundreds of given animals on ice howling support at the Rosemont Horizon, and Wolves players have responded, from making the playoffs in year 1 to winning their first playoff series in year 2. What's ahead? More exciting like the ones you've just been watching. But as good as they are, we think you'll enjoy the highlights we're about to show you even. It's the best of the Chicago Wolves, Volume 1. Goals, saves, checks, and yes, even a few scuffles that have been recorded on tape during the first 2 seasons. We also have a section devoted to the more unusual and funny moments as well. So let's get the action started.
Still a lot of time. 3:51 to go. On the left side, Malte. Across the line. Got it back, Malte. Shot, he scores!
Tell ya. Oh, and there he is.
Again, the goaltenders continue to make the big saves. Here's the drop pass, Brown. Here's the shot, score, Breslin in the offering. What a goal!
Rebound along the near side, batters. Got it. Peckowitz over the line to the left side. Peckowitz sweeps in front. Wiseman backhand. He scores! What a job by Peckowitz! Slot Peckowitz shoots, blocked. Rebound. Held in by Breslin at the high slot. Breslin right circle, cuts in, running up. Stick down, shoots, he
.54 the times of those penalties. Brown breaking in. Maltz, Rister scores! Malte ties it for Brown!
What a goal! Malte getting that puck over the blue line. Looking, he's going to go short side with this and up high. Watch that water bottle go up in the air. Brown with a great pass. Sees Malte very similar to the Breslin goal. And then he goes short side with that. He usually likes to...
gave me a funny look. I didn't really mean it. Off the draw. Scored all 3 goals.
Wiseman with great leverage. Top shelf. There's some.
Beautiful goal. They're done. But he scores! Lee Davidson 1-on-1, and the Wolves lead 3-1. Lopez, we pick it up there. Look at the poise on you. There's another angle. There's Davidson. Last year, joined in the rush by Weiser. Davidson holds fake shot. It's the Wolves' second shorthanded goal of the year.
High slot Wiseman, far point Dubois, far circle Brown, right of the net now Curry, far side Brown, in front Curry, tied up, left circle Wiseman, in front Molte, he scores! Outstanding puck movement by the Wolves, all over the perimeter. Curry in the...
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. That's the one thing I love about this team. They're such selfless players, you know. Wiseman had a great shot there. Instead, he elected the pass, and Maltz was wide open with a wide open.
Gosselin with the hard shot, Storr with the save, backhand right in midair. Again, everyone looking out to the point. Gosselin shot that through a Phoenix. There it's, oh, he got the blade on. What a gorgeous goal. That's why those hands are straight up.
The whole way. And
far side. And he's down on all fours. Got rocked into the far corner boards cleanly.
And he is in pain.
Right corner. Elric took a huge hit, and flying goes one of the spiders. And the man in pain is Dan Vincelette in the right corner. On his own net. Now accelerates over the Chicago line. High slot. He got knocked down, coughed up the puck. The ice.
Another 30 seconds. There's only 53 left in the period. Takes a nice shot.
Dropa's down. Listen to this.
.426. 4-2 Milwaukee. Off the boards. Tilly fires. Blocked in front. Never got there. Stopped by Ray LeBlanc.
They work the puck to Tilly. Tilly blasts it from the right side. It hits a lot of traffic. May have hit Cavallini in front. And then all of a sudden it goes over to Herkes. Herkes tries to gun it. That's a tough shot. Body. Here's a good angle coming right at LeBlanc. It hits Cavallini in front. Goes way to the right. Tries to get it upstairs, but LeBlanc shuts him down. Rapchi, far corner now, Yegorov. Cuts in front, shoots across, Scrimmon had it in his skates, high slot, Yegorov shoots in the save. Rebound, batted by McDonald to the far side. Yegorov, right circle. In by McDonald to the far corner. Top far circle, Medill. High slot, he walks in, shoots, Young the save, rebound, he's well out of the net, where's the puck? High slot, Yegorov shoots, Young the save, rebound, Young the save again!
Edgerton lost it in his skates, got it back. Ferguson in front. Loose puck. Shot. Stopped by Wendell Young.
Phoenix on a 5-on-4 situation, breaking down the box, getting in deep. Edgerton is going to come right to him. There it is, sitting Wendell Young on his back. Keeping the score at 1-1. You're going to see how they work the puck from the point. Look at the box formation breakdown because Kevin McDonald has to take a man in front. And puts his as if he scored. No goal. He was out on his back.
Stops the puck. LeBlanc the save, rebound. LeBlanc again, rebound. Hacked wide by Mackey.
The line, Wiseman. Lost and goes down. Play continues. Look out for Vegas. A breakaway from Bowler. Walking it. Save. Ray LeBlanc stopped it. That's two big ones for Ray.
It kicks right back to Bowler. Bowler from the red line all the way in. Hand on the stick. Goes to his forehand, back to his backhand, and LeBlanc with the toe save.
Mackey up the near side. Mackey to the near point. High slot. Severin shoots, block. Rebound. Tumbling a shot. LeBlanc, a fabulous pad save.
LeBlanc. Save.
Not exactly the fastest guy, but you know what? He works so hard to get breaking away by himself. He gets away from Dubois. But a beautiful... As he outraces Dubois. But watch the save right here by Ray LeBlanc with the splits. He gets his left leg out there.
Shoots, blocked. Behind the net, Willett feeds to the high slot, Straub. Near point to Puig, shoots, Young a kick save, rebound, Young again, rebound, that didn't get through. Paul frees it at the near post, Wendell Young. Into the right circle, turns into the slot, lost the puck. Loach being chased there by Reardon, feeds in front to Day, in all alone, shoots, LeBlanc robbed him! Joe Day robbed at the doorstep by the left hand of LeBlanc. Day tried to pop it over the glove hand, LeBlanc was right there with a big left hand. And a humongous save at this point.
Wolves. Marcus gave it up to Tillington. LeBlanc lost it. The light's on, but it's not in, and it's clear. The red light went on.
Chicago's net. Here we see Tilly with a wrist shot. Goes through LeBlanc.
Much tonight. Right across it goes. Marcus wide open in front. Couturier.
I tell you, boy, they're shaking their heads here. Couturier makes a beautiful play right there, but Ray LeBlanc comes out of nowhere. Save. Tony Herkus is going to get the puck all alone right there. Up, and more time by LeBlanc.
Sorella. About to play. He has the lone Chicago goal. Stick handle. Look out, it's 2-on-1. Down the left side, Wawrinka again with Dobbin. Back to Dobbin. What a save by LeBlanc. Put that one on the highlight film. That's a great one.
Well, I'll tell you right there, Ray LeBlanc makes the save of the game. He's been all up and down the ice all tonight, and here he is on the 2-on-1. He fakes the shot and gets LeBlanc to come out towards him, and he dumps it off to Dobbin. But what an acrobatic save right here. LeBlanc gets caught out of position, but he shows his cat-like quickness, and he gets back, and that's an outstanding save, JP. From another angle again, Wawrinka sees him, he gets out, and he goes, whoa, look out, I'm out of position, but there, he gave it to him, and he took it away.
And you see his footwork. He was off guard when he had to do all of that.
Come the Wolves. Big hit on LaFrance, and a penalty is coming up here. It was upended, and
this is Major League. Dennis Potvin right in front of your eyes, folks. Eric Dubois with a blast. He stepped in, he kept his feet on the ground, he got low, he didn't go for the knees at all.
Side, watch there by Dupuis. Malte tries to cut in. It floats over the crease. And Thomas.
Boy, oh boy, that would be an embarrassing one. And you can bet the boys in the dressing room between periods are going to be giving it to Kevin McDonald.
I think McDonald did a great job.
I went to hit it, and it just was bouncing at the time I shot it, and it almost went right in the top corner. I was surprised there, and felt pretty stupid there, but.
We're razzing him a bit after the second period. Good thing Mac had it, because someone else might have buried it.
Behind him, as we see in a left skate. We can't see that cross the line. line from here.
Wow.
A great hard shot right up the middle between two defensemen. LeBlanc saw.
Well, there it is. But it's not. The entire puck is not over. Rob Brown looking for Davidson. Oh, another giveaway. Davidson scores off the giveaway.
And I'll tell you, Lee Davidson had to check over his shoulder again to see who was giving him the puck. And just a terrible giveaway in his own zone. Beautiful drop pass right there for Lee Davidson. And he'll be the unassisted marker over the glove of Larry Dick. And you can't blame the goaltender in this play from the other angle. The perfect pass.
7-2, no goals though in this third period. McIsaac to Tillett. Shot, stopped by LeBlanc. Got the glove out, rebound. Oh, it's stopped in front.
And again, LeBlanc with a big save, and here's Herkus. He gets it all by himself, and he thinks he's got a goal, but Reardon does the job, and he tries for the kick save there too, but it ends up going over the net. Full marks, just he's come out of his net, cutting the angle down. He gets trapped out of the play a bit there.
Bats it behind the net. Young tried to play it up the far side. It kicks out in the left circle. Hodge, a quick shot. Wide. Far side, held in at the point by Andrzak. He snaps it in the right corner. Now, Sandy Smith has a hold of one of the boards. It's like a tail, right circle. Smith shoots, he scores! 14:49 remaining here in the second. 3-0 Moose.
Vince Gillette on the receiving end, and there's our checker's check of the night. Cleared out by the Jacks. All the way down ice. There's a bird flying low on the ice. Did you see that?
I think he's got the radar going where he's all mixed up or something. He can't, he's been flying around since before the period started. He just seems to be flying so low.
Hey, that's good camera coverage. No, that's great camera coverage. People say it's hard to follow a puck on TV. How about a bird? That one's still motoring.
Actually, they just announced over the PA that bats can be dangerous, so keep your eye on them. So maybe it is a bat.
Well, if so, that's my first ever bat sighting in Chicago, certainly. Other than at a base. Did he run into the boards or what?
Yeah, he may have.
Well, I've never seen a hockey game held up for this. No one wants to touch it. Yes. Oh, the linesman, the poor linesman. Oh, no. Oh, you got to be kidding me. That poor linesman. No, he doesn't want to touch it because I'll tell you what, if it is a bat and it bites, they don't pay enough. Wow. Well, that figures. He's a tough guy.
Waiting. He's just holding on to him, telling him, and actually McDonald's showing some good restraint by not throwing some punches and maybe getting a 5-minute penalty.
There goes the restraint.
There you go. Yeah, but De Palma drops his gloves, and McDonald shows him no linesman's in sight. De Palma's got him by the legs. He's not going to let him. He's not going to get his. He's like the turtle where he's going to hide his head in the shell.
Missing the chances that they had some giveaways. And now McDonald drops the gloves, and then Harkins gets in the way. Well, how are you going to sort these out? Now we've got two fights going.
Once we got Eakins and Harkins, and we got McDonald and Stevens.
Has his man down.
Evergreen Home Banking. Pay bills, make account easier. Evergreen Home Banking. Make life a little easier.
He was trying to get the referees to stay out of here. He said he wants to keep going. And Dobbin there, he's holding on now, not known as a fighter. But he's holding his own against Gillingham. But Gillingham right here switching to the left. And a few big uppercuts in there.
That bout's over now.
In front, that one is swept wide. Michael Straka, who's been a thorn on the Wolves' side, he's only played 5 games, but he's scoring a point per game against this club. Martin Straka's brother. A battle in the corner. Kevin McDonald is in there, and now McDonald has a player down. He took a swing at him. I believe that's Straka. Somebody jumped in. That's a third man. It's got to be a third man in an altercation.
Definitely going to be a third man right there. And Kevin McDonald didn't know who he was up against. And I don't think he didn't know that it was Martin Straka underneath there. And, you know, they both roughhousing each other right there. And that's Hayward jumped in there to help out his teammate. But Kevin McDonald.
Golfs it left corner. Secourt works around a check in the left corner. Rolls it to the right corner. Pellerin scooped it to the near post. And now we have Pellerin involved at close quarters with Dennis Smith in the right circle. Smith and Pellerin. Pellerin with a left. Smith can't get the left free. He's trying to get Pellerin's helmet off. And then Smith went down to his knees as Pellerin was muscling him there. He gets back up. Pellerin with a left. Pellerin with another left. Smith got Pellerin's helmet off. Now Pellerin with a right. Pellerin with another right. They still go at it in the far corner of the Kalamazoo zone. Pellerin with a straight right. That floored Smith. Brian Pellerin with the TKO punch in the far corner. The Wolves may be down on the scoreboard, but they're up in the fights.
Rivers can't see it. Tichy back up across in the slot. Save LeBlanc, rebound. Where is it? It's whistled down, and Ray LeBlanc holding the fort, and now LeBlanc will make it. McDonald is throwing him.
Kevin McDonald not taking anything in front. Taylor